Chapter 1632. Crackle. Ling Xiao slowly stood up, and his body crackled like beans being fried. Rays of resplendent light filled the air, causing Ling Xiao to emit an ancient, heavy, mysterious, and immortal aura. Ling Xiao had finally formed a tribulation seed for the eternally indestructible sacred technique. He was considered to have stepped into the threshold of mastery. From then on, with the tribulation seed as the foundation, Ling Xiao's physical body would become more and more terrifying, more and more powerful. In the end, he would become indestructible and invincible. Ling Xiao heaved a sigh of relief as a look of anticipation appeared in his eyes. The calamity seed has been condensed. The next step is to control the flipping sky seal. As long as he could control the flipping sky seal, Ling Xiao would be able to become the leader of the battle hall. At that time, Ling Xiao's strength would definitely reach an unfathomable level. Master, the young lord of the Ghost Devil clan has arrived. I will hold them back. You go first. At this moment, Thunder Spirit King's anxious voice sounded in Ling Xiao's mind. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The young master of the Ghost Demon clan had arrived. Seeing the Thunder Spirit King's anxious tone, he was afraid that he was not in a good condition. Ling Xiao could leave, but he didn't want to leave the Thunder Spirit King behind. I want to see how strong the young lord of the Ghost Devil clan is. Ling Xiao's body flashed as he used the heaven-shrouding secret technique. His aura became extremely obscure. He took a step forward and was about to leave the space of the stone tower. Rumble. The sky was shaking, and the earth was trembling. A fierce battle had already broken out in the Red Lotus Valley. Two silhouettes with powerful auras could be seen in the sky. They were both experts of the Ghost Devil clan, and both of them had the strength of 9th Revolution half-saint. A young man in a black robe was walking towards the stone tower. He looked extraordinary and had a terrifying aura. His eyes were filled with cold, killing intent. The young lord of the Ghost Devil clan? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He immediately guessed that the young man in a black robe was the young lord of the Ghost Devil clan. He was a 2nd Revolution half-saint, but his body was extremely powerful and emitted a mysterious wave. Clearly, the young master of the Ghost Devil clan had come for the karmic fire of the Red Lotus and the endless tribulation chi. However, he didn't expect that Ling Xiao would take the karmic fire of the Red Lotus and refine the tribulation chi. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. He quietly followed the young master of the Ghost Devil clan. If they could capture this young master of the Ghost Devil clan, perhaps Ling Xiao and Thunder Spirit King would be invincible. The young master of the Ghost Demon clan entered the space where the Red Lotus Hellfire and Tribulation Chi were stored. However, his expression darkened when he saw the scene before him. Damn it! My Red Lotus Karmic Fire, my Tribulation Chi. Who did it? The young master's voice was extremely cold. It contained a monstrous killing intent, causing the surrounding void to tremble violently. At this moment, Ling Xiao silently appeared behind the young master of the Ghost Devil clan. The Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos tablet turned into a brick and slammed it on the back of the young master's head. Ling Xiao's heaven-shrouding secret technique was extremely mysterious. Even though Ling Xiao was behind him, the young master of the Ghost Devil clan did not notice him. Therefore, he was in a miserable situation. Ling Xiao took advantage of his distraction and attacked him while he was roaring furiously. Bang! The young master of the Ghost Devil clan staggered. Suddenly, he felt as if his head was about to be smashed by someone. Bastard, who attacked me sneakily? The young master of the Ghost Devil clan was furious. His eyes were filled with cold, killing intent. Boom! 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 However, Ling Xiao did not pay attention to him. He held his breath and slammed the Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos tablet a few more times. The young master of the Ghost Devil clan was smashed until his head was covered in blood and flesh. He was sent flying. This guy's head is so tough? Ling Xiao was surprised. His divine strength was unparalleled. Coupled with the power of the Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos tablet, the young master of the Ghost Devil clan's head actually did not explode. This young master of the Ghost Devil clan's head was indeed very tough. I'm going to kill you. The young master of the Ghost Devil clan finally saw Ling Xiao's face clearly. His lungs were about to explode from anger. His face was distorted, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. With a flash of light, an ancient sickle appeared in his hand. He slashed it down at Ling Xiao. The young master of the Ghost Devil clan had a strong body. He was surrounded by a dense ghostly aura. His entire body was emitting a black luster, making his body look extremely tough. When the sickle slashed down, it was like a tiger stirring up wind. Boom! Ling Xiao raised the Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet and slammed it against the sickle. Instantly, a resplendent holy light spread out. Ling Xiao and the young master of the Ghost Devil clan both trembled and retreated at the same time. You're using the tribulation aura to refine your body? Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. He realized that the young master of the Ghost Devil clan in front of him had also chosen to use the tribulation aura to refine his body. His body was incomparably strong, only slightly weaker than his own. Damn human ant, you're the one who stole this young master's red lotus fire and tribulation aura? Go to hell. The young master of the Ghost Devil clan was enraged to the extreme. The sickle in his hand was filled with ghostly aura. In an instant, it turned into a series of afterimages in the void and slashed down at Ling Xiao. Boom, boom, boom. Ling Xiao held the Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet in his hand and engaged in an intense battle with the young master of the Ghost Devil clan. Every time they clashed, the void would shake, and a resplendent holy light would burst out. However, the more Ling Xiao fought, the braver he became. He realized that using the Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet as a brick was incomparably convenient. It could be used to smash the face, head, and even weapons away. It was practically tailor-made for Ling Xiao. After the young master of the Ghost Devil clan suffered a great loss in the hands of Ling Xiao, his attacks became even fiercer. The ghostly aura around him was dense, and he emitted a demonic sound that caused one's heart to tremble. It was constantly drilling into Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness. Break for me! Ling Xiao's eyes were incomparably sharp. He shouted loudly, and suddenly, the lightning around his body blazed. Streaks of purple lightning filled the sky, and a terrifying figure appeared behind him. Ling Xiao's aura began to surge, and it actually reached the level of the young master of the Ghost Devil clan. Then, streaks of terrifying lightning gathered on his fist, and he punched towards the young master of the Ghost Devil clan. Lightning Emperor's true body? Damn it! You're a disciple of the 9 Imperial Gates? The young master of the Ghost Devil clan's expression changed. His eyes were filled with monstrous killing intent as he stared at Ling Xiao. That's right. I'm the true disciple of the 9 Imperial Gates, Huang Wuji. Demon brat, prepare to die. I, Huang Wuji, have stolen your red lotus fire and tribulation aura. What can you do about it? Ling Xiao's eyes turned, and he suddenly sneered. His expression was extremely arrogant and brash. Chapter 1633. Ninth Layer Emperor Limitless? You're dead, no one will be able to save you today. The young lord of Ghost Devil clan roared in anger. His eyes were cold, and his body was surrounded by a dense ghostly aura. The black scythe in his hand slashed down at Ling Xiao like a black crescent moon. Rumble! Ling Xiao's aura was incomparably terrifying. Bolts of lightning blazed around him. After condensing the Lightning Emperor's true body, he seemed to have become a part of the Lightning Tao. Each of his punches caused the sky to tremble violently. The lightning dispersed the ghostly aura that filled the sky and collided with the black scythe. The young lord of Ghost Devil clan trembled as he felt an unparalleled divine force attacking him. The black scythe almost flew out of his hand. The blazing lightning broke through the layers of ghostly aura and collided with the young lord's chest. Bang! A black rune exploded on his body, and he was sent flying. Damn it! The young lord of Ghost Devil clan's expression was ugly. He felt his body trembling. If it wasn't for the powerful soft armor on his body, he was afraid that this punch would have severely injured him. How could a kid at the Great Divine King realm be so strong? Kill! Ling Xiao's eyes were piercingly cold. The lightning around his body swept across the void. The Lightning Emperor's true body seemed to have merged with his body. In an instant, The sky was filled with lightning, turning into purple runes that contained destructive energy. They enveloped the young lord of Ghost Devil Clan. At the same time, Ling Xiao grabbed the Heavenly Dao Primal Chaos Tablet and slammed it on the young lord's face. Ling Xiao's cultivation had reached the great Divine King realm. Although he had not crossed the Nirvana tribulation to reach the half-step Saint realm, his body had been tempered by countless tribulations. His physical body was far stronger than the young lord of Ghost Devil Clan. Coupled with the killing power of the Lightning Emperor technique, even the young lord of Ghost Devil Clan who had reached the second revolution half-step Saint realm fell into a disadvantageous position. Kill! The young lord of Ghost Devil Clan roared. Ling Xiao was holding a treasure brick in his hand, and he actually smashed it on the young lord's face. His nose was almost crooked from anger. He was too arrogant. He didn't put the young master of the Ghost Devil Clan in his eyes at all. An extremely terrifying aura exuded from his body in an instant. Streaks of black holy light filled the air as if it came from hell. It contained a power fluctuation that made one's heart tremble. In an instant, the wails of ghosts and howls of wolves resounded through the world. Black skulls appeared one after another and pounced toward Ling Xiao. Rumble! The skulls intertwined and formed a mysterious phantom of the Ghost Saint. It was powerful beyond compare and was not at a disadvantage when fighting against the Thunder Emperor's true body. The young master of the Ghost Devil Clan's aura skyrocketed as his attacks became even sharper. The power of the black scythe seemed to have completely awakened. Rays of black light filled the skies as they slashed down on the Heavenly Dao Primal Chaos Tablet, causing an incomparably resplendent light to erupt. A divine light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes as a divine rainbow flashed under his feet. In an instant he teleported 1,000 zhang away. At Ling Xiao's original position, a mysterious skull silently appeared and exploded. The terrifying divine light caused the void to tremble violently as cracks appeared. The self-destruction of the black skulls was like the self-destruction of a sage-level expert. It was extremely terrifying. Ling Xiao's powerful physical strength erupted as his blood chi soared. Streaks of purple divine light lingered around him like purple divine dragons, causing Ling Xiao's aura to be incomparably shocking. Gotcha! Ling Xiao held the Heavenly Dao Primal Chaos Tablet in his hand as if he was holding up an immemorial divine mountain. He directly sent the black scythe flying and broke through the layers of ghost chi as he slapped towards the young lord's face. Boom! 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 The black skulls rushed towards Ling Xiao, emitting a terrifying aura. However, Ling Xiao smashed them one by one with the Heavenly Dao Primal Chaos Tablet. In an instant, he was close to the young lord of Ghost Devil Clan. What? The young lord of Ghost Devil Clan's expression changed. He could not help but extend his arm to block the attack. With a crisp sound, his arm was directly broken. Boom! The young lord of Ghost Devil Clan's body was drenched in blood as he continuously flew backwards while coughing out blood. Damn it! Huang Wuji, I will not let you off. The young lord of Ghost Devil Clan's expression was very ugly. The young lord of Ghost Devil Clan's 9-layered imperial obelisk Huang Wuji's strength was too terrifying. Although he was unwilling, he knew that he might not be Huang Wuji's opponent. The young lord of Ghost Devil Clan's body flashed as he instantly flew out of the space within the stone tower and fled towards the outside. Where do you think you're going? Ling Xiao sneered as he similarly chased after the young lord. Rumble! The heaven and earth trembled as if the void was about to shatter. In the Red Lotus Valley, the Lightning Spirit King was fighting against 2 9th Revolution Sage-level experts of Ghost Devil Clan. The lightning was unparalleled and the aura was extremely terrifying. The young lord of Ghost Devil Clan's body flashed as he instantly appeared in the Red Lotus Valley. He then roared, "Kill this 9-layered imperial obelisk Huang Wuji for me." The 2 9th Revolution Sage-level experts of Ghost Devil Clan were slightly stunned. Their eyes revealed a trace of shock as they saw their young lord escaping in an extremely miserable state. Moreover, the one chasing after him was actually only a Divine King expert. However, after they heard the order of their young lord of Ghost Devil Clan, they instantly abandoned the Lightning Spirit King and rushed towards Ling Xiao. Devil bastard, Don't think of harming my master. Lightning Spirit King shouted loudly. Dazzling rays of light appeared in the hollow of his palm. The divine firmament palace appeared in the sky in a flash. It was ancient and majestic, just like an immemorial divine mountain. The divine firmament world annihilation grand matrix erupted and enveloped the 2 half-step saints of the Ghost Devil clan as well as the young master of the Ghost Devil clan. This was a flawless saint array. Its power was extremely terrifying. With the Lightning Spirit King's cultivation, it was enough to display the full power of the divine firmament palace. Rays of saint brilliance curled up like divine chains. Moreover, the lightning was incomparably blazing, flickering with destructive fluctuations as it suppressed the 3 of them. What? The 2 9th Revolution Sage-level experts of Ghost Devil clan could not help but change their expression. The power of the divine firmament world destroying Great Array was too terrifying. Moreover, the Lightning Spirit King's attack was extremely tricky as it directly targeted the young lord of Ghost Devil clan. Thus, they did not have the time to attack Ling Xiao. They could only protect the young lord of Ghost Devil clan and try their best to resist the power of the divine firmament world destroying Great Array. Rumble. Ghost Chi was eerie and the light was incomparably blazing. Waves of ghostly wails and howls came from the divine firmament world destroying Great Array. The Lightning Spirit King's expression suddenly changed. He raised his head and looked at the sky above the Red Lotus Valley. There was a black whirlpool surging. Its aura was extremely terrifying as if some kind of existence was about to step out from it. Not good. Master, I'm afraid that the Ghost Devil experts are about to teleport here. Should we retreat? The Lightning Spirit King said to Ling Xiao. Alright. Anyway, we have taken enough advantage of them. Let's go. Chapter 1634. Kacha. After Ling Xiao disappeared, a black light shone down from the void. An old man in a black robe walked out of the ancient and vast black vortex. His aura was monstrous, causing the surrounding void to tremble violently. A vast Saint Dao aura spread out, causing the void of the entire Red Lotus Valley to solidify. The young lord of the Ghost Devil clan and the 2 9th Revolution half-saints revealed a look of reverence in their eyes. They bowed deeply and said, "Greetings, old ancestor, who stole the Red Lotus karmic fire and tribulation chi." An old and cold voice exploded in the void. It was incomparably terrifying. Old ancestor, it was the disciple of the 9 imperial gates, Huang Wuji. Not only did he steal all the Red Lotus karmic fire and tribulation chi, but he also destroyed the Red Lotus Valley base that we painstakingly built. The young lord of the Ghost Devil clan gnashed his teeth and said, 9 imperial gates, Huang Wuji? Damn it. It seems that after being silent for so long, many people have forgotten the existence of the Ghost Devil clan. All of you, come with me and kill 1,000 disciples of the 9 imperial gates to teach them a lesson. The black-robed old man said indifferently. His body was shrouded in dense ghost chi. His voice shook the heavens and the earth. It had a kind of terrifying power that was monstrous. Yes, old ancestor. The young lord of the Ghost Devil clan was ecstatic. The old ancestor of the Ghost Devil clan in front of him was a true saint's clone. He could be said to be an invincible existence in the divine devil space. His strength was unparalleled. If he personally took action, the 9 imperial gates would be in trouble. The black-robed old man waved his big sleeve. Immediately, the young lord of the Ghost Devil clan and the 2 9th Revolution half-saints were swept up and slowly disappeared into the void. The teleportation talisman had teleported Ling Xiao hundreds of thousands of miles away. This was a life-saving item that Ling Xiao had prepared long ago. Ling Xiao could feel the terrifying aura just now. He was afraid that a saint of the Ghost Devil clan had arrived. Even if a saint's cultivation was greatly suppressed in the divine devil space, it was still not something that ordinary people could contend against. A saint of the Ghost Devil clan has arrived. I'm afraid the divine devil space is going to be chaotic. Let's go. Ling Xiao said softly with a hint of shock in his eyes. In the space of gods and devils, the human clan and the devil clan had conflicts from time to time. There were also fierce battles between them, but most of them happened among the God realm experts. There weren't even many half-saint experts. Now that a saint from the ghost demon clan had arrived, Ling Xiao instinctively felt that something big was about to happen. Ling Xiao had stayed in the mythical space for more than half a year. He had obtained many opportunities and fortunes. Not only had he broken through to the great circle of the God King realm, but he had also obtained a large amount of tribulation chi, which allowed him to condense the indestructible tribulation seed. It was time to return to the sect. The purple lightning lion flashed and appeared in the wilderness. Ling Xiao jumped on the back of the purple lightning lion and sped towards Shangqing Ancient City. 4 days later, Ling Xiao returned to Shangqing Ancient City. As soon as he returned to Shangqing Ancient City, Ling Xiao felt an austere atmosphere. Everyone was in a hurry in Shangqing Ancient City. Moreover, there were many half-step saints, especially the 4 immortal holy lands. Many half-step saints had appeared in Shangqing Ancient City. Ling Xiao only understood what had happened when he heard the discussions of the crowd. Have you heard? 3 days ago, the Ghost Demon Clan attacked the Thunderstone Mine of the 9 Imperial Gates. 381 disciples of the 9 Imperial Gates were all killed, including 3 true disciples. Isn't that so? I heard that it wasn't just the Ghost Demon Clan. The Heavenly Fiend Clan also sent experts to kill many disciples of the 5 Elements Sacred Sect. I also heard that the Ghost Devil Clan sent out a saint's clone and severely injured a 9 Revolution half-saint from the Imperial Obelisk. If that 9 Revolution half-saint didn't have a life-saving treasure, he would have died. This time, the 9 Imperial Gates suffered the most among the 4 immortal holy lands. Many disciples died. Sigh, it's been a long time since a large-scale great war of the gods and devils broke out in the mythical space. Ling Xiao could hear the discussions of the crowd. The Ghost Demon Clan sent out a saint's clone? It seems like the Ghost Demon Clan is after something big. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat as he thought to himself. Master, the karmic fire of the Red Lotus and the Tribulation Chi can only be used by saints. I think the Ghost Demon Clan in the Red Lotus Valley is collecting the karmic fire of the Red Lotus and the Tribulation Chi for the saints. However, saints usually don't dare to enter the mythical space. At most, they would send out their clones. Fortunately, we escaped quickly. Thunder Spirit King sighed with a hint of relief in his voice. If they were a few steps later, they wouldn't be able to escape when the Ghost Demon Clan's saint's clone arrived. No matter what happens in the mythical space, it has nothing to do with us. Let's return to the War God Temple first. Ling Xiao said slowly. When Ling Xiao was about to return to the War God Temple, his eyes suddenly flashed as he saw an acquaintance in Shangqing Ancient City. He couldn't help but reveal a trace of surprise. It was a woman in green armor. She was valiant, and her figure was incomparably hot. However, the aura around her was extremely terrifying. Her cultivation had reached the 6th Revolution half-step saint. Ling Xiao didn't expect to see Qingying here. Qingying also noticed Ling Xiao and revealed a trace of surprise in her eyes. She walked over and said, "Junior brother Long, you're still in the mythical space? Are you all right?" Ling Xiao smiled and said, "Thank you for your concern, senior sister Cheng. I'm fine. For the past half a year, I have been cultivating in the mythical space." "It's good that you're fine. I heard that you were asked to enter the mythical space to carry out a mission by the Task Elder. Later, Shuehua also entered the mythical space. I was afraid that he would harm you, so I asked around for a while. Now that I see that you're fine, I'm relieved." Qingying pulled Ling Xiao aside and said vaguely. However, Ling Xiao understood the meaning behind Qingying's words. Qingying probably also thought that Shuehua would harm Ling Xiao. "Senior brother Shuehua? I haven't seen him. Senior sister Cheng, why did you enter the mythical space?" Ling Xiao said lightly. He concealed the matter of Shuehua's death and changed the topic. "It's like this. In the past few days, the devil bastards have been very active in the mythical space. They have begun to cause chaos on a large scale, attacking and killing the disciples of the 4 immortal holy lands. The sect has also sent a few deputy palace masters and many true disciples to investigate the situation. I'm one of the leaders, Cheng Ying said slowly. Then senior sister Chung should be careful. I heard that the Ghost Demon Clan has sent out a saint's clone. His strength is unparalleled. Senior sister Cheng, it's best that you don't put yourself in danger. Ling Xiao said seriously. Don't worry. I'm only here to investigate the situation. However, if I can kill a few more devil bastards, I definitely won't miss it. However, there is a very strange matter. I wonder if you've heard of it? Chapter 1635. What is it? Ling Xiao asked. This time, the Ghost Demon Clan seems to have gone mad. They are killing the disciples of the 9 Imperial Obelisk everywhere. It is said that a disciple called Huang Wuji stole the treasure of the Ghost Demon Clan and killed many of their people. That is why the Ghost Demon Clan is seeking revenge. However, the 9 Imperial Obelisk claimed that Huang Wuji was killed a few months ago. Someone must have pretended to be Huang Wuji and stole the treasure of the Ghost Demon Clan. That person is most likely Huang Wuji's murderer. However, the 9 Imperial Obelisk has suffered heavy losses. This time, they have sent out many experts to hunt down the Ghost Demon Clan. Cheng Ying said slowly. Huang Wuji? I have never heard of him. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a strange look. He did not expect the Ghost Demon Clan to blame the 9 Imperial Obelisk for causing such a ruckus in the Red Lotus Valley. However, it seemed that Huang Wuji held a high position in the 9 Imperial Obelisk. Since there were experts from the 9 Imperial Obelisk who were looking for Huang Wuji's murderer, Ling Xiao became vigilant. Junior brother Long, there is only a month before the opening of the Flipping Sky Seal. If you can't condense the Calamity Seed, the chances of you competing with Zhan Tianxing will be slim. Cheng Ying said hesitantly. Senior sister Cheng, don't worry. I have obtained some opportunities in the mythical space and have condensed the Calamity Seed. This time, I will completely control the Flipping Sky Seal and become the master of the battle hall. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. There was a strong sense of confidence in his eyes. You have condensed the Calamity Seed? Junior brother Long, you are indeed a person with great opportunities. Then I, your senior sister, will wait and see. Cheng Ying's eyes lit up and she smiled. Ling Xiao and Cheng Ying chatted for a while before they bade each other farewell. Cheng Ying still had a mission to investigate the Ghost Demon Clan's movements. Ling Xiao was preparing to return to the sect to prepare for the opening of the Flipping Sky Seal. Buzz. A bright light bloomed. Ling Xiao returned to the battle hall through the teleportation formation in the Shangqing ancient city. Shui Hua and the others are already dead. This is troublesome. I will not go to the mission hall for now. Let's return to Battle Mountain. Ling Xiao thought to himself. Wang Chuan, Lu Xian, Wei Zhen, and Wei Xing had all died in the hands of the Ghost Devil Clan's geniuses. Shui Hua, on the other hand, was personally killed by Ling Xiao. After all, Ling Xiao had gone on a mission with Wang Chuan and the other 3. Now that Wang Chuan and the other 3 were dead, the mission elder would definitely find trouble with him. Not handing in the mission was equivalent to failing the mission. As long as the time limit was exceeded, there would be some punishment. It was nothing more than a deduction of the corresponding contribution points. Ling Xiao didn't take it to heart. Therefore, Ling Xiao simply ignored the problem of the mission and left the teleportation portal to return to Battle Mountain. After Ling Xiao returned to Zhan Mountain, a white-robed disciple who was guarding the teleportation formation turned around and flew towards Lei Shan. Tianxing Peak was Zhan Tianxing's cave abode. The Tianxing Peak was incomparably beautiful. Spiritual energy permeated the air, and ancient trees towered into the sky. An ancient and majestic palace sat on top of the mountain, emitting a resplendent light. It was as if the starlight from the 9 heavens had been drawn down. It was gorgeous and dazzling. When the white-robed disciple arrived at the Tianxing Peak, he directly entered the palace. He didn't even dare to look at the figure at the top and knelt down deeply. Greetings, senior brother Zhan. Long Outyin has returned from the mythical space. He should have returned to Battle Hall by now. The white-robed disciple's eyes were filled with reverence. At the top of the palace, Zhan Tianxing was wearing a purple battle suit. His face was handsome and his temperament was otherworldly. When he opened and closed his eyes, It was as if there was a resplendent river of stars twinkling, vast and deep. Other than Zhan Tianxing, there was also a charming girl in a long dress. Her figure was hot and her skin was whiter than snow. Her every frown and smile exuded a myriad of emotions. She was Tang Fei's sister, Tang Yao. Long Outyan? Good. Very good. Zhan Tianxing's eyes revealed a trace of coldness as he spoke indifferently. Senior brother Zhan, this Long Outyan really deserves to die. I have already checked. There is no disciple called Hu Qing in our Thunder Hall. According to senior brother's description, the Hu Qing that senior brother met must be Long Outyan. Tang Yao sneered coldly. Has it been confirmed that Xue Hua and Wang Chuan are all dead? Zhan Tianxing asked indifferently. Senior brother Zhan, I have personally gone to the Primordial Spirit Hall to check. Xue Hua and Wang Chuan are indeed dead. In my opinion, it must be that little bastard Long Outyan who did it. This kind of scum who kills his fellow senior brothers must die. Tang Yao said coldly with a trace of killing intent in her eyes. Xue Hua and Wang Chuan were the people she sent into the mythical space to kill Ling Xiao. In the end, Ling Xiao was completely fine while Xue Hua and Wang Chuan's souls were completely scattered. She was both shocked and resentful towards Ling Xiao. This Divine King Realm Prodisciple's strength was a little too frightening. Very good. Since it is confirmed, let's report it to the Tribunal Council. Arrest Long Outyan and punish him. Our War God Temple does not need scum who kills his fellow disciples. Doesn't he want to control the flipping sky seal? But he can't wait for a month. Zhan Tianxing said indifferently with a trace of cold killing intent in his voice. Zhan Tianxing was very unhappy that he had been tricked by Ling Xiao in the Divine Firmament Palace. He had a vague guess that perhaps the Divine Firmament Saint's inheritance had already fallen into Long Outyan's hands. No matter what, Long Outyan must die. Senior brother Zhan, don't worry. You are the future War God Temple Master. The flipping sky seal is yours. No one can take it away from you. Tang Yao's eyes were filled with admiration. She knew that if it were not for the flipping sky seal, Zhan Tianxing would have broken through to the 7th or 8th refinement half-sage and become the 4th saint of the War God Temple. Zhan Tianxing had forcefully suppressed his cultivation level to the peak of the 6th refinement half-sage in order to control the flipping sky seal and become the War God Temple Master. One had to know that the status of a Hall Master was much higher than that of a saint, especially the War God Temple. Although the War God Temple had declined, it had been the most powerful one among the 9 branches of the War God Temple a million years ago. Almost all the previous War Gods had come from the War God Temple. Zhan Tianxing's first step was naturally to control the flipping sky seal and become the War God Temple Master. The second step was to stabilize the War God's position. In Tang Yao's heart, even if the other 3 saints of the War God Temple were very powerful, they were still far from being Zhan Tianxing's match. Tang Yao left Tianxing Peak and headed toward the Tribunal Council. Chapter 1636. War Mountain was still as desolate as ever. Ling Xiao rode on top of the violet lightning lion and turned into a ray of light. He landed in front of the old and dilapidated temple on top of War Peak. He had been cultivating in the Divine Devil space for half a year. He didn't know if his first senior brother and the others had undergone any changes. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a hint of anticipation. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he frowned. He felt that other than the auras of Tiangang, Xian Wang, and Tai Niu, there were 2 other powerful and unfamiliar auras that emitted a faint divine radiance. Half-saint experts and true disciples. But why would the true disciples of the other temples come to War Mountain? You're finally back. Come out quickly. Look, this guy is back. I told you that he's very lucky. It's impossible for him to die outside so easily. On top of Mount Zhan, the black donkey looked around with a hint of pleasant surprise in its eyes. It immediately let out a loud cry. Junior brother Long is back? Soon Tiangang, Xian Wang, and Zhou Doji came out of the cave. When they saw Ling Xiao, they immediately revealed an incomparably excited expression and hurried over. Eldest senior brother, has everything been fine in the battle hall while I was away? Ling Xiao smiled as he looked at Tiangang. War Temple is fine. Tian wanted to say something but hesitated. However, he still smiled bitterly. How is it fine? Our cave has been taken by those two bad guys. Tai Nyo said in a muffled voice. There was a hint of indignation in his eyes. What's going on? Ling Xiao frowned as a trace of coldness appeared in his eyes. But before Tiangang could say anything, an incomparably ear-piercing voice rang out. Is this the true disciple Long Outyen that you were talking about? A mere divine king can become a true disciple? It seems like War Temple is getting worse and worse. Two young men in red robes walked out from a stone house in the distance. The two of them looked somewhat similar. The aura around them was blazing as if there were flames flowing around them. It made people feel a scorching heat wave spreading out. Both of them were Second Revolution half-saint experts. At this moment, they were staring coldly at Ling Xiao with a trace of disdain in their eyes. Who are you? Why are you in War Temple? Ling Xiao's gaze turned cold as he stared at the two young men in red robes. The two of them looked very presumptuous. They actually occupied the cave mansions of the Battle Temple. It was as if they didn't put the Battle Temple in their eyes at all. There was also an arrogant expression on their faces. Junior Brother Long, these two are the pro-disciples of Fire Hall, Gung Long and Gung Hu. They are a pair of twin brothers. Both of them have obtained the inheritance mark of the Flipping Sky Seal. Nominally, they are the pro-disciples of Battle Hall. They came to Battle Hall in advance for the opening of the Flipping Sky Seal in a month. They are. Tiangang transmitted his voice to Ling Xiao. Senior Brother Long, these two are bad guys. They took over our cave dwelling. Senior Brother Tiangang went to reason with them, but he was injured by them. Tai Nyo was the most straightforward. Now that Ling Xiao had returned, he didn't care about anything else. He immediately spilled the beans. Long Outyen, we are your senior brothers. Why aren't you greeting your senior brothers? Why are you still standing there in a daze? War Temple is indeed filled with a bunch of uncultured people who don't know etiquette. Gung Long sneered at Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao slowly raised his head. He glanced at Gung Long and Gung Hu indifferently and said, You've forcefully taken over my Battle Hall's dwelling and injured my senior brother, Tiangang. You're acting like a tyrant in my Battle Hall. Who gave you the confidence and backing? Although Ling Xiao's voice was calm, those who knew him knew that he was on the verge of exploding with rage. Gung Long and Gung Hu's arrogance had completely infuriated Ling Xiao. Junior Brother Long, don't be rash. They are Second Revolution half-saint experts. You are not their match. Just bear with it and wait for the Great Elder to return. Zhou Doji hurriedly tried to persuade Ling Xiao. Although Ling Xiao was strong and they had great confidence in him, Gung Long and Gung Hu were Second Revolution half-saint experts. Moreover, the two brothers were telepathic. If they joined forces, they could even fight against a Third Revolution half-saint. They were afraid that Ling Xiao would be too impulsive. If they fought, Ling Xiao would definitely be at a disadvantage. Damn it, Long Outyen. Stop pretending in front of us. We can come and go as we please. Even if we took over your cave dwelling, what can you do? The disciples of War Temple don't know the rules. I helped you teach them a lesson. It is your fortune. Even if I injured him, what can you do? Gung Long sneered and cursed. His eyes were filled with disdain. That's right. Long Outyen, how dare you speak to us in such a tone? Kneel down and apologize. Otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite. Gung Hu sneered. Very well. Ling Xiao suddenly raised his head and stared at Gung Long and Gung Hu expressionlessly. I originally thought that if the two of you apologized, I would forgive you. But now I have changed my mind. Kneel down and apologize. Each of you will be slapped 100 times. Then, get out of the mountain and I will pretend that nothing happened. Or else what? Long Outyen, I think you are tired of living. You want us to kneel down and apologize to you? We will do as you say. Kneel down and apologize. Then, slap 100 times and I will forgive you. Gung Long and Gung Hu's eyes turned cold as they stared at Ling Xiao ferociously. Looks like the two of you still don't understand the situation. Ling Xiao suddenly sighed. His eyes shone brightly as he turned into a golden lightning bolt. His speed was extremely fast. The heavenly primal chaos tablet turned into a brick and he slammed it towards Gung Long and Gung Hu's faces. You are courting death. Gung Long and Gung Hu's faces turned cold. They never thought that Long Outyin, who was only a divine king, would dare to attack them. He was simply tired of living. Rumble. Gung Long slammed his palm forward. Suddenly, a blazing flame rose and a huge flaming dragon gushed out from his palm. The dragon roared and charged towards Ling Xiao. Gung Long was a second revolution half-step saint. He practiced the sacred burning heaven technique of the fire temple. He could swallow and spit out the true fire of the heavens and earth. His strength was unparalleled. He could burn the sky and extinguish the earth. A sea of fire suddenly covered the sky above the war mountain. Tiangang and the rest shuddered as their eyes revealed an incomparably anxious expression. Chapter 1637. Astral Vault had once fought with Gung Long. He had used his full strength and even a portion of his bloodline power, but he was still defeated by Gung Long in a single move. Although Gung Long was stronger than him, there was a limit to it, right? Rumble. The sea of fire was boiling in the void. The flaming dragon was emitting a ferocious aura as it pounced towards Ling Xiao as if it wanted to burn him into ashes. Ling Xiao was calm and his eyes were deep. He held the heavenly Tao chaotic tablet in his hand and unleashed his unparalleled divine energy to destroy the flaming dragon. Ling Xiao's body emitted a terrifying aura like an ancient god beast that had just awoken. His blood chi soared into the sky, and after the Heaven Tao primal chaos tablet exploded the flame dragon, he was bathed in flames and directly appeared in front of Gung Long, slapping him on the face. Gung Long let out a blood-curdling scream. His face instantly became a bloody mess as he was sent flying. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Damn it! This is a flawless holy treasure. How can you be so strong? Gung Long's face was distorted as he directly smashed into the mountain wall in the distance. Suddenly, the mountain shook and the void trembled. If it wasn't for the protection of a powerful formation, a hole would have been smashed into the mountain. Gung Long's face was distorted. Junior brother Long is so strong? Zhou Doji and the others were stunned. Their eyes were filled with joy. They were worried that Ling Xiao would not be a match for Gung Long. After all, the gap between the Divine King realm and the Sage-to-be realm was too big. However, the result was out of their expectations. Junior brother Long has broken through to the great Divine King realm? This kind of cultivation speed is truly astounding. Tiangang exclaimed in surprise. Ling Xiao had concealed his aura before he attacked, so he did not notice Ling Xiao's cultivation level. Only now did he realize that Ling Xiao had reached the great Divine King realm. In less than a year, Ling Xiao had reached the great Divine King realm from the early Divine King realm. He had broken through 4 small realms. Although everyone knew that Ling Xiao was talented, they were still shocked. Gung Long leaped up. Although he looked very miserable, his face was incomparably distorted. His eyes were filled with cold, killing intent and greed. He stared at the heavenly Tao primal chaos tablet in Ling Xiao's hand and said, Long Outyin, hand over the flawless holy treasure in your hand to me and I can spare your life. Otherwise, today will be the day you die. The power of the heavenly Tao primal chaos tablet was too terrifying. He didn't think that Ling Xiao had the strength to defeat him. Everything was attributed to the heavenly Tao primal chaos tablet. Even he himself didn't have a flawless saint artifact. This brat who was only at the God King realm actually had a flawless saint artifact. This filled him with jealousy and greed. Big brother, why are you wasting your breath on him? Just kill him and take back the intact holy treasure. Gung Hu's eyes were also cold. He didn't expect Gung Long to be sent flying by Ling Xiao in one move. He couldn't hold it in any longer and leaped into the air, wanting to kill Ling Xiao. But at this moment, a terrifying beast roar rang out, shaking the heavens. In an instant, the wind and clouds changed color, and lightning flashed. The originally calm purple lightning lion roared towards the sky, and a huge lion claw emitted a cold purple light, covering the sky as it slammed towards Gung Hu. The purple lightning lion's roar was a powerful sound wave divine ability. Its power was extremely terrifying and could directly shake the primordial spirit. Gung Hu was caught off guard and was immediately stunned by the lion's roar. Then he was slammed down from the sky by the purple lightning lion. Bang! Gung Hu was slammed onto the mountain. His body was about to fall apart. He suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood and his eyes were filled with shock and anger. This lion actually has the cultivation of a third revolution half-saint? Tiangang and the others were completely shocked. They stood there as if they were petrified. Ling Zhao's strength had skyrocketed, and he had defeated Gung Long in one move. That wasn't the end of their shock. Ling Zhao's mount, the purple lightning lion, looked harmless, but its attack was so terrifying that it had reached the cultivation of the third revolution half-saint. Purple lightning lion? Isn't this guy's luck too good? How did he manage to make a third-level half-saint purple lightning lion willingly become his mount? Black Donkey also widened his eyes, his face full of disbelief. Looks like we were worried for nothing. Junior Brother Long's strength is indeed terrifying. He doesn't do things that he's not confident in. These two bastards are going to suffer. Wang Lin and the others also laughed and let go of the worries in their hearts. Bastard, you're courting death. Gung Hu was about to go crazy. Flames seemed to be spewing out from his body. He also cultivated the sacred sky burning technique. He jumped up from the mountain and punched towards the purple lightning lion. Not good. Second brother, dodge. Gung Long's face changed. He suddenly felt an incomparably terrifying aura erupting from the purple lightning lion. The purple fur on the purple lightning lion's body stood up like purple steel needles, sharp and unparalleled. A purple lightning ball instantly shot out from the purple lightning lion's mouth, intertwining with lightning, containing an aura that could destroy everything, flying towards Gung Hu. Gotcha! After Gung Hu's punch exploded the purple thunderball, the lightning in the sky bloomed and turned into purple divine light, enveloping Gung Hu's body. Gung Hu's face changed instantly. He felt that the purple divine light contained the power to pierce through everything. It immediately broke through his divine shield and fell on his body, causing his body to tremble violently. His flesh was badly mutilated, and his whole body seemed to be paralyzed. Bang! The purple lightning lion swatted Gung Hu down from the void with its lion claw. His whole body smashed into the hard mountain, and his aura became sluggish. The purple lightning lion's cultivation was at the third revolution half-saint realm. During this period of time, the Thunder Spirit King had been constantly guiding it, allowing it to release the power it had accumulated for countless years. It was about to break through to the fourth revolution half-saint realm. Although Gung Hu's strength was not bad, it was not enough in front of the purple lightning lion. I'll kill you. Gung Long was completely enraged. His eyes flashed with murderous intent. A golden spear appeared in his hand, flowing with blazing flames. It crossed the sky and pierced towards the purple lightning lion. Don't you want this flawless saint treasure? Come, I'll give it to you. Ling Zhao smiled faintly, and a trace of sharpness appeared in his eyes. Boom! Chapter 1638. Bang! Gung Long's expression changed. The heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet's power was too terrifying. The golden spear in his hand wanted to block it, but it exploded in an instant. His entire body was smashed down by the heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet. He spat out blood and his entire body became a mess of flesh and blood. The heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet weighed millions of caddies. Although Gung Long was a second revolution half-saint, he could not withstand the power of the heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet. He was directly suppressed. Boom! The war mountain trembled and emitted a mysterious light. It was as if some kind of power was about to awaken. The mountain was filled with sparkling light. That was the holy imprint left behind by the saints of the war hall. It turned the war mountain into a place similar to a holy treasure. It was indestructible. Gung Long and Gung Hu were suppressed by Yi Shiwen. Their faces were filled with disbelief and anger. This was a great humiliation for them. They were suppressed by a divine king brat. If this news spread out, they would become the laughingstock of all the disciples. Long Ouden, you're dead. You beat up a senior without permission. You didn't follow the sect rules. Wait for the punishment from the law enforcement hall. Gung Long and Gung Hu roared. Their eyes were filled with anger. The heavenly Tao primal chaos tablet flashed and turned into a ray of light that flew back into Ling Zhao's palm. Following Ling Zhao's signal, the purple lightning lion also retracted its lion claws and released Gung Hu. Long Outyen, you're only letting us go now? It's too late. Let me tell you, unless you give me the holy treasure and your mount and kneel down and apologize to us, we'll let you go. Otherwise, no one will be able to save you. Gung Long sneered. He thought Ling Xiao was afraid, so he let them go. However, before he could finish, Ling Xiao slapped him. Purple lightning flashed and Ling Xiao's hand was extremely fast. He slapped Gung Long's face and sent him flying. You want my holy treasure? Ling Xiao sneered and sent out another slap. Bastard! Long Outyen, I won't let you go. Gung Long fainted from the slap. When he came back to his senses, he was so angry that his whole body was trembling. His eyes were filled with an expression that looked like he was about to devour someone. Rumble! He was surrounded by holy light, and flames rose into the air as he threw a punch at Ling Zhao's palm. However, there was only a crisp sound. Ling Zhao's palm contained an incomparably terrifying power, directly breaking his arm. Another slap landed on his face. You want my mount? Gung Long's face was slapped again. You want me to kneel and apologize? Gung Long's teeth were all broken. You want to take over the cave abode of my battle hall? Injured senior brother Tiangang? Aren't you awesome? Come and fight back. Ling Xiao sneered. Every time he asked a question, he would slap Gung Long. Gung Long's face was swollen like a pig's head, and he could not speak clearly. There was no way for him to defend himself. Although Ling Xiao had not undergone the nirvana tribulation, his body had been tempered by the tribulation qi, and he had condensed the indestructible tribulation seed. The strength of his physical body was comparable to a sixth revolution half-saint, or even stronger. A second revolution half-saint was no match for him. If Ling Xiao had not shown mercy, with his current strength, he would have smashed Gung Long's head with a single slap. Even so, Gung Long was still beaten to an incomparably miserable state by Ling Xiao. His entire body was a bloody mess, and his original appearance could no longer be seen. Even Gung Hu, who had been cursing the entire time, trembled all over, and a trace of fear appeared in his eyes. Too ruthless. Long Outyen was simply too cruel. When Gung Long was sent flying by Ling Xiao like a dead dog, Ling Xiao's gaze landed on Gung Hu. He could not help but shiver all over. What are you trying to do? Gung Hu's eyes were filled with vigilance. He stared at Ling Xiao as he retreated. His words were somewhat stuttering. Gung Long, I've already had my fill. Now it's your turn. What do you think I'm trying to do? Ling Xiao said indifferently. His gaze was very calm, but it made Gung Hu want to cry. He shuddered when he thought of the fate of his brother, Gung Long. I'm telling you, don't come over. Long Outyen, get out of my way. Gung Hu's face was incomparably ugly, and his voice sounded like he was about to cry as he shouted at Ling Xiao. Tiangang and the others were dumbfounded. Were these still the arrogant and despotic Gung Long and Gung Hu? They had actually become like this in front of Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao had scared them so much that they were about to cry. However, everyone was feeling very good. It was simply too good. The grievances they had suffered for the past few days had dissipated by quite a bit. However, at this moment, the sound of something breaking through the air rang in everyone's ears. More than 10 figures with powerful auras flew over from outside the War Mountain. Each of them had a cold expression, and they emitted a monstrous killing intent. It's the people from the law enforcement hall? Tiangang's face changed slightly, and his gaze became somewhat serious. The Black-Robe people were actually all half-step saints. Although they were only low-level half-step saints, their strength was extremely terrifying. The black-robed middle-aged man in the lead had a cold gaze and a gloomy temperament. He was actually a 6th revolution half-step saint. Beside the black-robed middle-aged man was a charming woman. She had a fiery figure, snow-white skin, and an extremely beautiful face. She emitted a myriad of emotions, but at this moment, her face was filled with coldness. Tang Yao had arrived with the law enforcement hall's people. When Gung Long and Gung Hu saw the arrival of the law enforcement hall's disciples, they were immediately overjoyed. It was as if they had seen their saviors, and they hurriedly shouted, "Fellow law enforcement hall's senior brothers, save us." Long Outyin didn't respect his senior brothers and didn't abide by the sect's rules. He wantonly attacked us and seriously injured us. Fellow law enforcement hall's senior brothers, please uphold justice for us. Tian Gang and the others' hearts sank. With the law enforcement hall's aggressive appearance, they could tell with a single glance that nothing good would come out of it. They couldn't help but begin to worry. The black-robed middle-aged man was called Lu Hun. He was a protector of the law enforcement hall, and his position was second only to the vice hall master of the law enforcement hall. Not only was he powerful, but he also held great authority. It was said that he was vicious and merciless. As long as someone fell into his hands, even if they didn't die, they would lose a layer of skin. Even the true disciples were wary of him. Tang Yao was afraid of Ling Zhao's strength, so she invited protector Lu Hun over. However, when they saw Gung Long and Gung Hu's appearance, they revealed a trace of surprise on their faces. Gung Long and Gung Hu were second revolution half-step saints, while Long Outyin was only a divine king. However, Gung Long and Gung Hu said that Ling Xiao had injured them. Lu Hun and Tang Yao found it hard to believe. Chapter 1639. Don't worry, Tang Yao. No matter who it is, I won't let him off if he violates the sect's rules. Lu Hun said indifferently with a cold expression. Ling Xiao frowned. The disciples of the law enforcement hall were obviously here for him. After hearing the pretty girl's words, a cold light flashed in his eyes. Tang Yao? When Ling Xiao interrogated Shui Hua's primordial spirit, Tang Yao was the one who ordered Shui Hua to get rid of him. He didn't expect that Tang Yao would accuse him first and bring the law enforcement hall disciples to War Mountain. You're Long Outyin? Lu Hun looked at Ling Xiao coldly. I'm Long Outyin. For you. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Long Outyin, this is Lu Hun, the law enforcement hall's law enforcement hall. You killed Shui Hua, Wang Chuan, Lu Xian, Wei Zhen and Wei Xing in the divine devil space. Why aren't you kneeling down and confessing? Tang Yao's eyes were cold as she looked at Ling Xiao condescendingly. Her voice was like a thunderclap, containing a powerful sound wave ability, causing Tian Gang and the others to turn pale. However, the majority of the power was still directed at Ling Xiao, attempting to shock his mind. But to Tang Yao's disappointment, Ling Xiao's expression was calm as if he wasn't affected at all. What a joke! You said that I killed them. What evidence do you have? Empty words are rare. In my war god temple, it's a serious crime to accuse a fellow disciple. Do you want to have a taste of the divine whip? Ling Xiao sneered. He wasn't intimidated by Tang Yao's words. Wang Chuan, Lu Xian, Wei Zhen and Wei Xing were all killed by the geniuses of the Ghost Devil clan. Only Shui Hua died in Ling Zhao's hands. However, with the sky-devouring secret technique, Shui Hua had completely disappeared from this world. As long as Ling Xiao didn't admit it, he wasn't afraid of the law enforcement hall's questioning. The law enforcement hall needed evidence to enforce the law. Moreover, Tang Yao was the culprit. Ling Xiao hadn't even gone to find trouble with her, but she had already accused him. The expressions of Tian Gang and the rest changed. Killing a fellow disciple was a huge crime. A light punishment would be crippling one's cultivation and expelling one from the sect. A heavy punishment would be having one's soul scattered. Now that they saw the people from the law enforcement hall coming in such a menacing manner, they became extremely worried. Long Outyin, you're about to die. Are you still not going to confess? The mission elders sent Wang Chuan, Lu Xian, Wei Zhen, and Wei Xing with you to carry out the mission to kill the geniuses of the Ghost Devil clan. However, they died and you are still alive. Did you collude with the Ghost Devil clan and kill your fellow disciples? Quickly confess. Tang Yao sneered. Of course, she did not have any evidence. However, Lu Hun was the king of hell. As long as Long Outyin fell into his hands, he could interrogate Long Outyin through torture. Long Outyin, you have committed a heinous crime. How could a scum like you be worthy of becoming a true disciple of the War God Temple? Senior Sister Tang, Lu Hun, we can testify that Long Outyin was unruly and arrogant. We tried to persuade him out of goodwill, but he attacked us and severely injured us. Gung Long and Gung Hu seemed to have found their savior. They hated Ling Xiao to the core. At this moment, they did not mind slandering Ling Xiao. They wanted to convict him of the crime. Shut up. Ling Xiao's gaze turned cold as he scolded Tang Yao. Who do you think you are? How dare you accuse me? If you can't produce any evidence, then get lost. You're courting death. Tang Yao's expression turned ugly, and a cold, killing intent flashed in her eyes. Being reprimanded by Ling Xiao in front of so many people made her even angrier. Tang Yao, leave it to me. Lu Hun, who had been silent, suddenly stopped Tang Yao. Alright, then I'll have to trouble you, Lu Hun. Tang Yao took a deep breath and bowed to Lu Hun. Lu Quan was dressed in a black robe. His entire body was emitting a cold, baleful aura. His aura was sinister. His eyes were like a venomous snake. Cold light shot out in all directions. Being glanced at by him made people feel uncomfortable. Long Outyin, you went on a mission with Wang Chuan, Lu Xian, Wei Zhen, and Wei Xing, but all of them died. You are the prime suspect. Please come with us to the enforcement hall to be interrogated and investigated. Do not resist. If you dare to resist, you will suffer a terrible fate. Lu Hun's voice was incomparably cold. He looked down at Ling Xiao condescendingly. There was an unquestionable fluctuation in his voice. Lu Hun, although I went on a mission with the four of them, we split up after entering the Divine Devil space. Now that they are dead, it could be that they were killed by the geniuses of the Ghost Devil clan. It could also be that they died in the Divine Devil space. What does it have to do with me? Even if I am suspicious, I am a true disciple of the War God Temple. The 130th commandment of the War God Temple states that a true disciple cannot be questioned by anyone below the rank of Temple Master unless there is concrete evidence to prove that he has betrayed the temple and killed his fellow disciples. I'm afraid that you don't have the qualifications to bring me back to the law enforcement hall for questioning. If you want to bring me back for questioning, you should ask the law enforcement elder to come here personally. Ling Xiao sneered coldly. He could see that Lu Hun was pretending to be official, but in reality he was in cahoots with Tang Yao. Ling Xiao naturally would not agree to bring him back for questioning without saying anything. The true disciples of the War God Temple were the future of the War God Temple. They had a high status. If the law enforcement elder wanted to punish a true disciple, he would have to personally come forward. As for the Holy Son of the War God Temple, his status was even higher. He would have to be personally dealt with by the War God Supreme. Lu Hun's gaze and expression turned even colder. There was indeed such a rule in the War God Temple. However, Ling Xiao saying that Lu Hun did not have the qualifications in front of everyone was like a slap to his face. This made him furious. After all, in Lu Hun's opinion, although Ling Xiao was a true disciple of the War God Temple, his cultivation was only at the Divine King realm. Moreover, the War God Temple was incomparably weak. It could be said that the War God Temple did not have much of a presence. He never thought that Ling Xiao would dare to reject him. You're right. There is indeed such a rule in the commandment. However, you are only at the Divine King realm. There is no need for the law enforcement elder to come forward. You are suspected of murdering a fellow disciple. Now, you have even beaten up 2 senior brothers of the Fire God Temple in front of everyone. This is a heinous crime. If you know what's good for you, come with me obediently. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Lu Hun's gaze was cold. A terrifying aura spread out from his body. The vast holy aura was so powerful that it caused the surrounding void to tremble slightly. Chapter 1640. Protector Lu, although I'm only a divine king, I can't fake my identity as a pro-disciple. If you have evidence to prove that I'm the one who killed those disciples, I'll leave with you right now. However, you don't have the right to interrogate me based on your guesses. Get the enforcement elder to come here personally. Ling Xiao said flatly as he stared at Lu Hun. Long Outyin, how dare you? You want the enforcement elder to come here personally? Do you think you're worthy? Tang Yao sneered. That's right. Long Outyen, you didn't follow the rules of the sect and beat up your senior. You're too arrogant and despotic. Kneel down and admit your guilt before leaving with Protector Lu. Gung Long said with hatred in his eyes. Long Outyen, this is the enforcement token. Anyone who sees it will be treated as if the enforcement elder is here personally. If you know what's good for you, you'd better come with me. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. Lu Hun said coldly as the aura around him became more and more terrifying. You're going too far. Without any evidence, why are you taking junior brother Long away? Tian Gang said furiously. That's right. If you want to take senior brother Long away, you'll have to go through me first. Baddies like you, when the great elder returns, you'll all be beaten up. Tai Nyo said in a muffled voice. At this moment, everyone was angry and sullen. The weakness of the battle hall was fully displayed here. The battle hall was one of the 9 factions. How could the enforcement hall dare to go to the other 8 factions to capture someone? It was precisely because there was no one in the battle hall that they dared to act so presumptuously. A mere law enforcement hall protector dared to look down on the battle hall in such a brazen manner. This made everyone feel as if they had a common enemy. It's just an enforcement token. It's not like the enforcement elder is here personally. Lu Hun, I'll say it one last time. You don't have the right to make me go to the enforcement hall. Now, please get out of the battle hall. The battle hall doesn't welcome you. Ling Xiao laughed as he suppressed the anger in his heart. He didn't even bother to address Lu Hun as Protector Lu and just called him by his name. Long Outyen, you dare to go against the enforcement hall's order? Very well. I'd like to see what kind of strength you have to be so arrogant. Where are the enforcement disciples? Capture him. Anyone who dares to resist will be killed without mercy. Lu Hun bellowed. His eyes were filled with killing intent. He was used to being high and mighty. There were hundreds of thousands of disciples in the War God Temple. Even true disciples had to be respectful and courteous when they saw him. When had he ever been belittled or even scolded like this? Especially since Ling Xiao was only a divine king. Even though he was rumored to be very strong, Lu Hun did not take him seriously at all. Kill! 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 As soon as Lu Hun finished speaking, the dozen law enforcers in black robes shouted at the same time. The word kill shook the sky like thunder, causing the entire mountain to tremble. Their faces were cold, and their eyes were filled with murderous intent. Their expressions were cold as they stared at Ling Xiao. Murderous aura spread out from their bodies and locked onto Ling Xiao, who was in the center. These law enforcement disciples were all half-saints. The most powerful 2 of them had even reached the cultivation of 3 revolution half-saints. Moreover, their auras intertwined with each other as if they had condensed into a single entity. Their strength was terrifying. Just the shockwave alone was enough to make Tian Gang and Zhou Daoji tremble, and their faces turned pale. Good. Very good. Lu Hun, how dare you abuse your power and be so arrogant? Do you really think that there is no one in the War God Temple that can stand up to you? Today, I really want to experience just how strong the so-called law enforcement disciples are. Ling Zhao's eyes shone brightly as he laughed out loud. His aura soared, and there was no trace of fear in his eyes. You're courting death. Tang Yao sneered. These law enforcement disciples were all elites who had gone through countless mountains of blades and seas of fire. They had killed their way out from piles of corpses. Their talent might not be very strong, but they were resolute. Their killing intent overflowed into the heavens, and their attacks were ruthless. Even the true disciples of the War God Hall were unwilling to face them. These law enforcement disciples could even fight against a 4th revolution half-saint if they worked together. She did not think that Ling Xiao, who was just a divine king, could withstand the attacks of these law enforcement disciples. It was only a matter of time before he was defeated. Take him down. Lu Hun waved his hand and said coldly. Swoosh. The law enforcement disciples were immediately surrounded by holy light and murderous aura as they pounced towards Ling Xiao. Boom. Holy light intertwined in the void and murderous aura rose like a chaotic ocean. The terrifying aura seemed to be able to turn all life into ashes. The law enforcement disciples attacked at the same time. Their aura was extremely terrifying and it shook the heavens and earth. Endless holy light covered Ling Xiao, who was in the middle. Kacha! A dazzling light suddenly exploded. Purple qi rose and golden clouds filled the air. Endless blood and qi gushed out. Ling Xiao was like an immemorial ferocious beast that had just woken up from its slumber. Boom! 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 He threw out over 100 punches in a row as fast as lightning. Every fist print contained an incomparably terrifying power. He directly fought with the dozen or so law enforcement disciples in close combat. Then, a resplendent light bloomed, and the dozen or so law enforcement disciples flew back at an even faster speed. Swoosh! Ling Xiao soared into the sky, and the blood in his body seemed to be boiling. The dozen or so law enforcement disciples also gave him a certain amount of pressure, but it also made the battle intent in his heart burn even brighter. What? Tang Yao was shocked. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. Not only did Ling Xiao withstand the attacks of the law enforcement disciples, but he also repelled them? This bastard can't win, can he? Gung Long and Gung Hu were also shocked. They could not make up their minds. His physical body is very strong. After being tempered by the calamity aura, he might have formed the indestructible calamity seed. But cultivation is the foundation. His cultivation is still too weak. He will definitely lose. Lu Hun said indifferently. There was a strange light in his eyes. It was as if his eyes had turned black and white. He has formed the indestructible calamity seed? How is this possible? He has only cultivated the indestructible sacred technique for less than a year. Tang Yao's eyes were filled with disbelief. Although she also thought that no one could compete with Zhan Tianxing for the flipping sky seal, Long Outyen was too terrifying. He had formed the indestructible calamity seed in less than a year and was qualified to control the flipping sky seal. Zhan Tianxing had also spent decades collecting the calamity aura to form the indestructible calamity seed. I'm just guessing. But his physical body is indeed very strong. But no matter how strong his talent is, the War God Temple does not need someone like him. Lu Hun said coldly. Boom. At first, the dozen law enforcement disciples were only probing with their attacks. After sensing the strength of Ling Xiao's physical body, they all took out their powerful weapons and activated the Saint Dao true intent they had comprehended. They charged towards Ling Xiao. Chapter 1641. More than 10 sage-to-be experts charged towards Ling Xiao at the same time. They were surrounded by a baleful aura as though they were killing gods that had walked out from a mountain of swords and a sea of blood. Their attacks were ruthless as they targeted Ling Xiao's vital points. After a short test, they realized that Ling Xiao's physical strength was extremely terrifying. They didn't choose to fight Ling Xiao head-on. Instead, they used powerful saint techniques and saint artifacts to attack Ling Xiao from afar. Rumble! A black blade light cut through the heavens and earth. It contained a power that could destroy everything as it slashed towards Ling Xiao's head. The blade intent was unparalleled and extremely shocking. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The Heaven Path Chaos Tablet in his hand was surrounded by a faint chaotic light. It was heavy and ancient. It went up and shattered the blade light in the sky. Then, it blasted towards the law enforcement disciple. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Behind Ling Xiao, a few blazing sword lights rose up. They intertwined with a monstrous baleful aura and shot towards his head, heart, dantian, and limbs. The attacks were very tricky. If Ling Xiao insisted on attacking the law enforcement disciple, he would inevitably be pierced by the sword lights. It was very likely that he would be severely injured. Not only were these law enforcement disciples ruthless, but their cooperation was also superb. They were the clearest about the weaknesses of these true disciples. They could adapt according to the situation and choose the most suitable attack method. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed coldly. He didn't even bother to look at the blazing sword lights behind him. He executed a teleportation technique and instantly appeared in front of the law enforcement disciple. The Heaven Dao Primal Chaos Tablet came crashing down on his head. You're courting death. The law enforcement disciple's face changed. He didn't expect Ling Xiao to choose to fight with his life on the line. He immediately activated the battle blade in his hand and his saint force exploded as he faced the Heaven Path Chaos Tablet. Kacha. The Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet was as heavy as an immemorial divine mountain. The might of the flawless saint treasure exploded forth and directly smashed the saber into smithereens, smashing it into the chest of that law enforcement disciple. A crisp sound rang out, and the chest of the law enforcement disciple suddenly caved in, and a huge bloody hole appeared. Blood gushed out of his mouth, and he was sent flying. At this moment, the few sword lights enveloped Ling Xiao. Clang, clang, clang. Ling Xiao did not dodge, but when the sword light landed on his body, there was the sound of metal clashing. Sparks flew everywhere. Purple chi spread out around Ling Xiao. His entire body was exuding an aura of eternity. Scram! Ling Xiao roared as the Heaven Tao Primal Chaos Tablet swept out, directly shattering the sword light in the sky. After that, his entire body shone with the resplendent light as he kicked out a few times consecutively. His speed was as fast as lightning, and accompanied by the power of wind and thunder, it was as though he could crush a mountain with a single kick. The few law enforcement disciples behind him couldn't dodge in time and were instantly sent flying by Ling Xiao's kick as if they were struck by lightning. Rumble! The blood chi around Ling Xiao rose, and there were streaks of purple chi permeating the air. The roar of a dragon shook the heavens and earth. His entire being seemed to have turned into an immemorial divine dragon, sweeping across all directions with an invincible aura. Although the law enforcement disciples cooperated well with each other, and each of them had a strong combat strength, they didn't seem to have any lethality in front of Ling Xiao. They were all repelled by Ling Xiao. Almost all of the First Revolution half-saints were defeated in one blow. Only the Second Revolution half-saints could barely resist Ling Xiao's attack. He actually used his physical body to resist the attack of a half-saint treasure. How can his physical body be so strong? Tang Yao exclaimed. Her expression became even more unsightly. The stronger Ling Xiao's cultivation was, the more shocked and jealous she felt. She even had a premonition that she couldn't control it, which made her feel very uncomfortable. It seems like I've underestimated him. The strength of his physical body is really rare. Even the demon race and the demon race, who are known for their strong physical bodies, can't compare to him. Lu Hun's eyes revealed a trace of shock. He could see that when the law enforcement disciples' attacks landed on Ling Xiao's body, there were faint ripples like water. Ling Xiao's body had a kind of indestructible fluctuation. Rumble! An unparalleled spear radiance came across the sky, emitting a purplish gold luster. It was like a divine dragon piercing towards Ling Xiao with unparalleled power. At the same time, a huge axe emitted an incomparably fierce aura. It slashed towards Ling Xiao as if it could split the heaven and earth apart. Among the law enforcement disciples, the two strongest Third Revolution half-saints had made their move. The two of them attacked Ling Xiao at the same time. Once they made their move, the pressure in all directions caused people's hearts to tremble. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed sharply. The strength of the two Third Revolution half-saints was extremely strong, which made him feel a trace of threat. The Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet in his palm suddenly rose into the sky, and streaks of chaotic fog shrouded him, causing his aura to become indistinct. Ling Xiao was like an invisible shadow, piercing through layers of the void in an instant. The Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet collided with the spear radiance, and an incomparably resplendent divine light burst out from both sides. Ling Xiao took advantage of the situation and threw a punch towards the Third Revolution half-saint. At the same time, the Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet flew out of his hand and went towards the huge axe. Bang! The heaven and earth trembled, and a vast divine radiance bloomed. The Third Revolution half-saint did not expect Ling Xiao's speed to be so fast. He could only activate the divine radiance around his body and sent a palm strike towards Ling Xiao. At the same time, a stream of light flashed under his feet, and he was about to retreat. Ling Xiao's fist smashed the palm print, and then his speed became even faster. He was like a golden lightning, soaring through the sky, and sent over 100 punches towards the Third Revolution half-saint in front of him. Ling Zhao's advantage was his physical body. With just the strength of his physical body, he was not weaker than the 6th Revolution half-saint Qingying. In addition to Ling Zhao's secret teleportation and heaven-shrouding secret technique, he appeared and disappeared like a ghost. Although the law enforcement disciples knew Ling Zhao's weakness, they could not avoid him at all. Ling Zhao was like a piece of sticky candy, following closely behind like a shadow. The 3rd Revolution half-saint could not help but change his expression. Although he tried his best to resist, he was constantly retreating. Gotcha! After the Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet collided with the huge axe, a resplendent light exploded in the sky. At the same time, the Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet was sent flying by the 3rd Revolution half-saint. Good opportunity! The eyes of the 3rd Revolution half-saint lit up. At this moment, Ling Zhao's Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet was sent flying. Without the protection of this supreme treasure, it was the best opportunity to deal with Ling Zhao. Suddenly, all the law enforcement disciples intertwined with terrifying Saint Qi, and the most terrifying attack power erupted. It was like a resplendent divine radiant storm, enveloping Ling Zhao. Go! Chapter 1642. Junior Brother Long, be careful. Tiangang and the rest couldn't help but shout out as their eyes were filled with worry. Ling Zhao was about to fall into the most dangerous situation. Not only was he bound by the purple gold chains, but he was also about to be attacked by the many enforcement disciples. Although they were infuriated, they felt a sense of helplessness. They could only place their hopes on Ling Zhao to display his prowess and defeat the enemies. However, this feeling was unbearable. Rumble! Powerful half-saint treasures and true meanings of holy techniques converged into a terrifying torrent of murderous intent. It pressed down on Ling Zhao as if it wanted to crush him into dust. Tang Yao's eyes revealed a cold smile. Although Long Outyen was strong, he would still be captured by the enforcement disciples in the end. She was even thinking about how to deal with Long Outyen after she brought him to the enforcement hall. Gotcha! But right at this moment, a resplendent lightning suddenly exploded in the sky. The Heaven's Tao Primal Chaos Tablet emitted an incomparably strange wave of energy. In an instant, it split into 9, transforming into 9 Heaven's Tao Primal Chaos Tablets. They directly shot into the sky filled with destructive light, protecting Ling Zhao's body. The 9 Heaven Tao Primal Chaos Tablets intertwined with each other. At the critical moment, they automatically protected Ling Zhao. The sky was filled with terrifying divine light, but they were all blocked by the 9 Heaven Tao Primal Chaos Tablets. So what if you're enforcement disciples? You're just a bunch of trash. Ling Zhao said coldly. A terrifying aura burst out from his body. A purple divine light coiled around him like a purple dragon. It suddenly exploded with a loud rumble. The purple gold chain that had bound him was a powerful semi-sage treasure. However, it couldn't resist the power that had burst out from Ling Zhao's body. The talisman characters on the chain exploded, and it began to break apart bit by bit. Ling Zhao soared into the sky and the 9 Heaven Tao Primal Chaos Tablets merged back into one. It expanded rapidly in the sky and became tens of thousands of feet tall. It was like an immemorial sacred mountain, exuding an ancient, mysterious, and majestic aura. Ling Zhao lifted the Heaven Tao Primal Chaos Tablet up like the Heavenly Emperor lifting up the stars in the sky. He suddenly smashed it down towards the enforcement disciples. Rumble! The chaotic mist intertwined, turning the heavens and earth into a mysterious chaotic world. The faces of the law enforcement disciples changed drastically, as though they had sunk into a swamp. Regardless of whether it was a 1st Revolution or a 3rd Revolution half-saint, their speed became extremely slow. They could only watch as the Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet suppressed them. Crack! The sky was filled with blazing divine light as the 10 over law enforcers' eyes were filled with fear. After being struck by the Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet, they were all heavily injured as they spat out mouthfuls of blood and were sent flying. Ling Zhao stood in the sky. His black hair danced in the wind, and his white robe fluttered in the wind. His eyes were deep and bright, like an undefeatable emperor, exuding a peerless aura. This is the legendary Primal Chaos Tablet. This kid actually obtained 9 Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablets? I must obtain such a precious treasure. At this moment, Lu Hun's gaze was completely attracted by the Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet in Ling Zhao's hands. His heart was filled with excitement, and his eyes were filled with greed. The Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet was a famous peerless saint treasure in the divine world. It was said that it was a treasure left behind by a saint king expert. There were a total of 81 Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablets. Although every Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet was an ordinary saint treasure, if one could gather all 81 Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablets, it would be a peerless saint treasure, even comparable to the flipping sky seal of Battle Hall. A flawless saint treasure was extremely precious. Although Lu Hun was a protector of the enforcement hall, he did not have a flawless saint treasure. In the entire enforcement hall, only the enforcement elder had a flawless saint treasure. If he could obtain these 9 Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablets from Ling Zhao, it would be 9 flawless saint treasures. Furthermore, it was not something an ordinary saint treasure could compare to. Rumble. The aura of the Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet was monstrous. It was ancient and mysterious, exuding a peerless divine aura that could suppress everything. The battle that happened on War Mountain had also alarmed the other members of the War God Hall. Many of the inner disciples, pro-disciples, and even the elders were looking at War Mountain. Their divine senses intertwined as they tried to find out what was happening on War Mountain. What? The enforcement hall wants to capture the pro-disciple of Battle Hall, Long Outyen? Battle Hall really doesn't have any sense of existence. Isn't that so? Now that Battle Hall is weak, I think they should have gotten rid of the Battle Hall lineage long ago. There's no need for them to exist anymore. Why is Long Outyen's combat strength so strong? He's just a mere divine king. More than 10 half-saint pro-disciples couldn't even capture him. Instead, they were defeated by him? This is unbelievable. It should be the power of his stone tablet treasure, right? Could it be a flawless saint treasure? This Long Outyen is really lucky. Everyone's divine senses intertwined as they discussed animatedly. Some were mocking, some were indifferent, and some were sympathetic. But in the end, they were all stunned by the result of the battle on War Mountain. A divine king realm disciple had fought against the law enforcement hall alone and defeated more than a dozen law enforcement disciples of the half-saint realm. This was simply unbelievable. They were extremely shocked. Many of the true disciples who had not taken Ling Zhao seriously in the past also began to take Ling Zhao seriously at this moment. Damn it! How can this bastard be so strong? No, I can't let him be in the limelight. Long Outyen deserves to die. Tang Yao's expression was ugly, and her eyes were filled with killing intent. A light flashed in her palm, and in an instant, a purple jade talisman appeared, emitting a mysterious fluctuation. With a flash of light, it flew towards Ling Zhao. The purple jade talisman was silent, but it contained an extremely terrifying fluctuation of destruction. It didn't attract anyone's attention. A sharp glint flashed through Ling Zhao's eyes. He suddenly felt a sense of danger approaching. However, before he could do anything, he heard a powerful roar that shook the sky. Roar! The purple lightning lion, who had been lying obediently by the side, suddenly roared. Its purple fur stood on end, and its eyes were filled with coldness. In an instant, it rushed into the sky like a bolt of purple lightning. Its speed was extremely fast, and it blocked Ling Zhao's path. Boom! That purple jade talisman exploded with a loud bang, turning into violent bolts of purple lightning. It was terrifying to the extreme and directly submerged the purple lightning lion. You're courting death. Chapter 1643. Gotcha! Within the purple jade talisman, streaks of purple lightning rose up. It was terrifying to the extreme, as though it could turn everything into dust. Ling Zhao could feel that the purple lightning lion's aura was weakening rapidly. Ling Zhao forcefully suppressed the anger and killing intent in his heart. His whole body turned into a bright light, and instantly shot into the terrifying lightning. At the same time, the Lightning Emperor technique exploded, and continuously devoured the lightning around him. Even the Thunder Spirit King, who was hiding in Ling Xiao's body, exploded with all its strength and absorbed the lightning in the sky. This was the sage's true talisman, which contained the power of a sage. It was terrifying. Ling Xiao did not expect Tang Yao to be so crazy as to use the sage's true talisman to kill him at all costs. Fortunately, the sage's true talisman was incomplete. Hence, its power was greatly reduced. Moreover, it was a Lightning Dao true talisman. The purple lightning lion could also control the Lightning Dao true talisman. Hence, it was not killed instantly. Otherwise, the sage's true talisman would have severely injured the Lightning Spirit King, let alone a third revolution half-saint purple lightning lion. Boom, boom, boom. Bolts of lightning struck Ling Xiao's body. Even though his physical body was extremely tough, and he had also unleashed the power of the Lightning Emperor technique and the Heaven-Devouring secret skill, and even the Heaven Dao Primal Chaos Tablet was blocking the destructive lightning around him, just the aftershock alone was enough to tear Ling Xiao's skin and flesh apart. He was severely injured in an instant. "You're courting death. I'd like to see how you can survive this time," Tang Yao said coldly, her eyes filled with coldness. Lu Hun furrowed his brows, but he didn't say anything. His eyes were fixed on the sky full of lightning. He was prepared to snatch the Heaven Dao Primal Chaos Tablet the moment Ling Xiao died. Despicable. Too despicable. That woman is really vicious. How dare she launch a sneak attack? Some of the disciples from the other factions could not stand it and said angrily, "Shoo, you guys are courting death. That woman is Tang Yao, Zhan Tianxing's woman. The sage's true talisman in her hand must have been given to her by Zhan Tianxing." "That's right. Don't talk too much. Zhan Tianxing is not someone we can afford to offend," some disciples hurriedly said. Their eyes were filled with sympathy when they looked at the lightning. It seemed like it wasn't easy for the battle hall to produce such a talented true disciple. Could it be that he was going to be crippled just like that? In the end, he's still too young and impetuous. He offended Tang Yao. If he could endure for a while longer, he might be able to soar into the sky like Zhan Tianxing. Someone sighed inwardly. Everyone thought that even if Long Outyin didn't die, he would be seriously injured. After all, that was a saint's true talisman. It was extremely terrifying. The aftermath of the lightning made many of the true disciples' scalps numb, not to mention Ling Xiao, who was in the center. Ling Xiao was indeed struck by the destructive lightning and suffered serious injuries. He spat out a mouthful of blood, but he still gritted his teeth and rushed out of the lightning storm with the purple lightning lion in his arms. At this moment, the purple bolt lightning lion looked very miserable. Its beautiful purple fur had been reduced to ashes and there were bloody wounds all over its body. It looked like a bloody mess. There were even purple lightning bolts dancing within its flesh. The purple bolt lightning lion's aura had become incomparably weak. "Why were you so foolish? That saint's true talisman couldn't do anything to me," Ling Xiao said with a mixture of anger and heartache. The purple lightning lion had rushed out without a care for anything, which made him feel extremely touched. However, what made him feel slightly relieved was that although the purple lightning lion was heavily injured and its aura was extremely weak, it was not life-threatening. "She's a bad person. You're a good person." The purple lightning lion tilted its head and said in a childish voice. Its voice was very crisp. "I'm a good person?" Ling Xiao was slightly taken aback. Looking at the purple lightning lion's clear eyes, he nodded seriously and said, "Good child, rest well. Leave the rest to me." Ling Xiao sighed in his heart. Although the purple lightning lion was very strong, it was still in its infancy stage. It was roughly equivalent to a child of a few years old. It was still very naive. However, it was this naivety that made it rush forward without a care for its own life when it saw Ling Xiao in danger. This kind of pure heart was very moving. The purple lightning lion blinked its large eyes, then its head tilted to the side and it fainted. "Take good care of it," Ling Xiao said seriously as he handed the purple lightning lion to Tiangang. "Don't worry. Leave it to me." Tiangang nodded his head seriously. Ling Xiao stroked the purple lightning lion, then slowly stood up. The blood on his body had already dried, and his white robes were dyed red with blood. A murderous aura rose around him, and his entire person was as straight as a sword. A monstrous murderous aura filled the air. His eyes were filled with cold murderous intent as he stared at Tang Yao in the distance. Tang Yao trembled. Ling Zhao's gaze made her heart skip a beat. Her expression turned even colder and uglier. Even the saint's true talisman could not kill Ling Zhao. At this moment, other than anger, there was also a trace of fear. Barging into my sect, injuring my brother, and trying to kill me. Tang Yao, do you really think I don't dare to kill you? Ling Zhao's voice exploded in the void like thunder. He stared at Tang Yao, his eyes filled with uncontrollable murderous intent. Rumble! The heavens and earth trembled as Ling Zhao rose into the air. His murderous aura permeated the air, and every step he took caused the heavens to tremble. A vast aura rose up, causing his aura to be terrifying to the extreme. He walked towards Tang Yao, and it was as if heaven and earth were pressing down on Tang Yao with him. Tang Yao's face turned pale instantly. Long Outyen, what are you doing? Tang Yao screamed. Her expression turned uglier and uglier, and there was even a trace of fear in her eyes. I'm here to kill you, Ling Zhao said coldly. The serious injury of the purple lightning lion had made him completely furious. This vicious woman had made his murderous intent reach its peak. Ling Zhao's voice made Tang Yao's face turn pale. She could not help but take a few steps back, her entire being filled with shame and anger. Right at this moment, a powerful aura erupted and blocked Ling Zhao's path. Powerful saint's aura filled the air around Lu Hun. His entire aura became extremely hot, as if there were bursts of flames rising, locking Ling Zhao in front of him. Long Outyen, how dare you? Injuring a law enforcement disciple and disobeying the rules of the sect. You are simply lawless. If you don't surrender now, don't blame me for being rude. Lu Hun shouted coldly. His gaze was fixed on Ling Zhao, and his voice shook the void. Chapter 1644. Lu Hun had made his move. Everyone's body trembled, and they couldn't help but reveal a trace of seriousness in their eyes. Lu Hun was the enforcer of the law enforcement hall. His cultivation had reached the peak of the 6th revolution, and he was only one step away from the 7th revolution. In the War God Palace, the 6th revolution half-saint realm was a dividing line. Those below the 6th revolution half-saint realm were protectors and deacons. They were all middle-level management personnel of the sect. However, 7th revolution half-saint realm could be promoted to elders and deputy palace masters of the sect. They could be considered as high-level members of the sect. The gap between the 6th revolution half-saint realm and 7th revolution half-saint realm was huge. It was said that Lu Hun would soon cross the 7th nirvana tribulation and advance to the 7th revolution half-saint realm. At that time, he would become an elder of the law enforcement palace. Therefore, his status was very high. Many true disciples didn't dare to offend him, not to mention his ruthless means. His cultivation was at the peak of the 6th revolution half-true saint. His strength was unparalleled. Everyone could not help but sigh in their hearts. It seemed like Lu Hun was going to suppress the storm. Although Ling Zhao's battle strength was strong and he could defeat more than a dozen law enforcement disciples, the gap between the Divine King realm and the 6th revolution half-saint realm was too big. There was no suspense at all. Even a perfect holy treasure couldn't make up for this gap. Therefore, the result was already determined. I heard that Lu Hun's methods are extremely vicious. Even if the disciples who fall into his hands don't die, they will lose a layer of skin. Junior brother Long is in danger. Why isn't the great elder back yet? Tiangang also began to panic. His eyes were filled with incomparable worry. Shameless old thing, bullying the weak as the strong. What the hell is this? Black Donkey scolded indignantly. Although he did not like Ling Zhao, he could not help but reveal a trace of worry in his eyes at this moment. Lu Hun. If he dares to hurt senior brother Long, I will take his life 10 years later. Killing intent flashed in Xian Wang's eyes. Her white dress fluttered in the wind, and her aura was extraordinary. If someone else said that they could catch up to Lu Han in 10 years, perhaps no one would believe it. However, everyone knew how terrifying Xian Wang's talent was. Killing Lu Han in 10 years was not a joke. Tang Yao gritted her teeth and said, "Protector Lu, this Long Outyin is acting recklessly. He went against the Tribunal Council and injured the disciples of the Tribunal Council. He even tried to kill me. Please kill him on the spot." When Tang Yao thought about how she was frightened by Ling Zhao's gaze, she felt both embarrassed and angry. She felt as though she had suffered a great humiliation, and she wanted nothing more than to kill Ling Zhao right now. "Don't worry. No one can save him today," Lu Han said indifferently. His eyes were burning with passion as if they were about to turn into a vast sea of fire. Rumble. Behind Lu Han, flames spread out and an ancient and terrifying aura rose. A three-legged golden crow surrounded by endless flames appeared. That ferocious aura seemed to want to burn everything into ashes. Lu Han came from the fire hall and cultivated the sacred burning sky technique. He had comprehended the true meaning of the three-legged golden crow, which was one of the strongest true meanings of the sacred burning sky technique. Its attack was unparalleled, and it could destroy the heavens and earth. "Lu Han, how dare you stop me?" Ling Zhao's eyes were filled with sharp killing intent. He did not even take Lu Han seriously when he unleashed the true meaning of the three-legged golden crow. His killing intent was burning fiercely, and he could not wait to tear Tang Yao into pieces. He could see that the Tribunal Council and Tang Yao were in cahoots, and they were determined to deal with him. Therefore, he did not hold back and directly called Lu Han's name. He stared at Lu Han without a trace of fear. "Long Outyin, you are indeed arrogant and despotic. How dare you look down on me when you are merely a divine king? When you break through to the sage-to-be or even become a divine saint, you will look down on the war god as well. You are not fit to be a disciple of the war god hall. Today, I will clean up the mess for the war god hall." Lu Han's eyes were filled with killing intent. Terrifying flames rose around him as if he was going to strike Ling Zhao at any time. He originally wanted to bring Ling Zhao back to the Tribunal Council and hand him over to Tang Yao and Zhang Tianxing. However, he changed his mind when he saw the Heavenly Dao Primal Chaos Tablet. Since the War God Hall was weak now, even if he killed Ling Zhao in front of everyone, he would be able to get the Heavenly Dao Primal Chaos Tablet and no one would blame him. It was killing two birds with one stone. Therefore, now that he had a reason to kill Ling Zhao, he could not be bothered to hide it anymore. "Ha! Clean up the mess? Who do you think you are to represent the War God Hall? I, Long Outyin, am a true disciple of the War God Hall. I have not committed any crimes, and you want to kill me based on your guesses? Old dog, let's see how you are going to kill me." Ling Zhao's eyes were as cold as steel as he stared at Lu Han. Everyone was shocked. They could not help but look at Lu Han with admiration. Who was Lu Han? He was one of the most popular protectors in the Tribunal Council and was about to become an elder. Long Outyin actually dared to call him an old dog? However, he had the guts to scold Lu Han and do something that many people did not dare to do. Even though they knew that Ling Zhao was about to be killed by Lu Han, they could not help but admire him. "You are courting death." Lu Han's eyes turned cold and murderous. Suddenly, the sky was filled with flames. With a sharp cry, the three-legged golden crow, wrapped in a monstrous evil qi, with cold and bloodthirsty eyes, directly suppressed Ling Zhao. He had already decided to kill Ling Zhao. Junior brother Long. Tiangang and the rest cried out in shock as their faces instantly turned incomparably pale. Lu Han was a 6th Revolution half-saint. His burning sky sacred technique was terrifying. Seeing Ling Zhao about to die at Lu Han's hands, even though they were angry and worried, they couldn't do anything to stop it. A sense of powerlessness surged in their hearts. They couldn't help but clench their fists. Their eyes were filled with anger and hatred. "Old dog Lu Han, you are the one who is courting death," Ling Zhao shouted as he faced the blazing flames in the sky. He was not afraid at all. Rumble. A terrifying bolt of lightning rose up, causing the sky to tremble. The entire War Mountain rumbled as if the origin of lightning had descended. A terrifying figure appeared behind Ling Zhao. His face could not be seen clearly as he was shrouded in endless lightning. He was like a supreme emperor who controlled the lightning tribulations. He slammed his palm towards Lu Hun. This is a ninth revolution half-saint. Who are you? Chapter 1645. Rumble. The aura was so terrifying that it covered the sky. It was like a saint who had mastered the way of lightning. The lightning was dazzling and instantly suppressed Lu Hun's aura. A monstrous palm pressed down on Lu Hun. There was a huge gap between a 6th revolution half-saint and a 7th revolution half-saint. The gap between a 6th revolution half-saint and a 9th revolution half-saint was even greater. Lu Hun felt the threat of death from the palm. Open up! Lu Hun roared towards the sky. The saint force around him exploded as if it was burning. The three-legged golden crow's aura was so terrifying that it rushed towards the giant palm. Kacha! The heavens and earth trembled as divine light burst out. It was as if a divine sun had exploded between the heavens and earth. In an instant, a terrifying divine light storm was set off. A mournful cry was heard in the sky as the three-legged golden crow exploded. Flames filled the sky. The palm landed on Lu Hun's body. Suddenly, endless lightning exploded on Lu Hun's body. Lu Hun's body was badly mutilated. He coughed out blood violently and was sent flying like a rag. Ling Xiao stood in the sky. He and the terrifying figure behind him complemented each other. There was a peerless and invincible aura. Everyone was stunned. How could this be? After Lu Hun attacked, everyone thought that Ling Xiao was dead for sure. After all, the combat strength of a 6th revolution half-saint was much stronger than a divine king. Ling Xiao was no match for Lu Hun. However, the scene in front of them shocked them. They felt as if they were in a dream. They could not believe what they were seeing. Lu Hun was defeated. He was completely defeated. He was severely injured by the palm and was lying on the ground like a dead dog. What exactly is that figure? How can he be so terrifying? A 9th revolution half-saint. Who would have thought that Long Outyin would have such a peerless figure as a 9th revolution half-saint? Who is he? Could it be that Long Outyin has a powerful background? Otherwise, why would such a terrifying figure be following him? Everyone's eyes were filled with doubt. They could not see the figure behind Ling Xiao. They were all secretly guessing Ling Xiao's identity. Master, my attack is not bad, right? Isn't it shocking? Look at them. They are all stunned. Thunder Spirit King laughed. His voice was transmitted into Ling Xiao's mind. That powerful and terrifying figure was, of course, the Thunder Spirit King. Ling Xiao was as powerful as a 9th revolution half-saint. Although Lu Hun was a 6th revolution half-saint, he was no match for the Thunder Spirit King. He was slapped down by the Thunder Spirit King. Not bad. Ling. He didn't want to expose the existence of the Thunder Spirit King so soon, but the law enforcement hall and Lu Hun had gone too far. Therefore, Ling Xiao asked the Thunder Spirit King to do something. However, Ling Xiao knew that after the Thunder Spirit King was exposed, the news would spread out. Soon, the people in the 9 imperial gates would suspect Ling Xiao. Huang Wuji had a saint patriarch behind him, so he must have a high status in the 9 imperial gates. Who is that? Tang Yao's entire body began to tremble, and her eyes were filled with incomparable terror. She didn't expect that Long Outyin would have such a terrifying trump card. A 9th revolution half-saint was a cultivation level that only the top elders and vice-lords of the War God Temple had. She finally felt that the situation was out of her control. Cough. Lu Hun coughed out blood. His body was badly mutilated. His aura became extremely weak. He looked at Thunder Spirit King in disbelief and said, "Who are you? How dare you behave so atrociously in my War God Temple? You don't deserve to know my name," said the Thunder Spirit King with a cold smile. The chi around him was monstrous. It locked onto Lu Hun, which made Lu Hun's expression change. "Lu Hun, don't you want to kill me?" Ling Xiao said indifferently. His eyes were filled with sharpness. He walked towards Lu Hun. The entire War Mountain was silent. Whether it was the law enforcement disciples or the disciples of the War God Temple, They all looked at Ling Xiao with respect. Lu Hun's expression became extremely ugly. He stared at Ling Xiao and said, "Long Aoyan, you're dead. So what if you're a 9th revolution half-saint? In my war god temple, even saints don't dare to behave atrociously. How dare a mere 9th revolution half-saint attack me? You violated the sect's rules and resisted a law enforcement disciple. Do you want to betray the sect?" Lu Hun's voice was very cold. He reprimanded Ling Xiao loudly, but he seemed to be fierce. "I've said it. Old dog Lu Hun, you can't represent the war god temple. The law enforcement disciples should be the fairest people in the war god temple. But you didn't ask for the reason. You don't have any evidence. You want to arrest me indiscriminately. You're a coward who can't tell right from wrong. What right do you have to be a protector of the war god temple? Today, I'll teach you a lesson on behalf of the law enforcement elders." Ling Xiao said indifferently. His eyes were extremely sharp. The Thunder Spirit King sneered. Lightning flashed around his body. It contained an extremely terrifying destructive power. It seemed like he was going to fall from the sky and kill Lu Hun. Lu Hun's expression changed drastically. He didn't expect Ling Xiao to continue attacking him. Just when he was about to say something, an old and majestic voice suddenly sounded in the void. "Teach Lu Hun a lesson on behalf of me? Who do you think you are?" A light flashed in the void. Heaven and earth seemed to be separated. Two figures appeared in the sky above the war mountain. One of them was an old man in a black robe. He was tall and strong. His face was ruddy and majestic. Lightning flashed around his body. His aura was extremely terrifying. Just standing there made the void around him tremble violently. The other one was a middle-aged man in black armor. His face was indifferent. Purple lightning flashed around his body. He was looking at Ling Xiao with a cold gaze. He was the vice leader of the Thunder Hall, Lei Qianjue. "Law enforcement elders? Elder, please help me. This Long Aoyan is arrogant and unruly. He didn't follow the rules of the war god temple. He has committed a heinous crime. Elder, please arrest him." Lu Hun was overjoyed. His eyes were filled with excitement. The old man in the black robe was the leader of the war god temple. Xingjun. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. The law enforcement elder Xingjun and Lei Qianjue came to the war mountain at the same time. It seemed like they didn't come with good intentions. Chapter 1646. Master, the two of them are very powerful. The Thunder Spirit King's eyes became serious. Lightning flashed around him, and he hid his energy. He stared at Xingjun and Lei Qianjue. Both of them were strong warriors of the Way of Thunder, and they were both at the 9th Revolution half-saint realm. Even the Thunder Spirit King felt threatened by them. After all, the Thunder Spirit King was just a thunder spirit. Strictly speaking, it was a thunder spirit body. It did not have a body of its own. In a special place like the Divine Cloud Valley, it could unleash powerful combat strength. However, in the War God Shrine, it was at a disadvantage. "Greetings, Law Enforcement Elder. Greetings, Vice Palace Master Lei." Everyone on the War Mountain bowed to Xingjun and Lei Qianjue when they saw them. However, Ling Xiao was the only one who stood there proudly. His eyes were calm and he had no intention of bowing to Xingjun and Lei Qianjue. "May I know why the law enforcement elder is here?" Ling Xiao said calmly. He did not believe that Lu Hun's arrogance had nothing to do with Xingjun. Judging from Xingjun's aura, he was probably from the Thunder Hall as well. He was in charge of the law enforcement hall and he came with Lei Qianjue. It did not seem like he was here to seek justice for Ling Xiao. "Long Aoyan, who is he? How dare you bring an outsider into the War God Shrine and injure the law enforcement disciple and guardian Lu? Are you trying to betray the sect?" Xingjun stared at Ling Xiao and said coldly. His aura was extremely majestic. "Law enforcement patriarch, this is the Thunder Spirit King, my servant. He is not some random person. Since Protector Lu is trying to deal with me, my servant should be the protector, right? I don't know if the law enforcement elder knows what happened, but you are blaming me without asking for the reason. Is this how the law enforcement elder manages the sect?" Ling Xiao replied calmly. There was no fear on his face. The Thunder Spirit King is your servant? Xingjun and Lei Qianjue's eyes narrowed. Long Outyin was only a divine king, but he had a 9th Revolution half-saint as his servant. It made them wonder who Long Outyin was. Reporting to the law enforcement elder. According to Tang Yao and the mission elder statement, Long Outyin, Wang Chuan, Lu Xian, Wei Jin, and Wei Xing entered the divine space to carry out a mission, but Wang Chuan and the other 3 died in the divine space, and only Long Outyin returned unharmed. We suspected that Long Outyin had something to do with the deaths of Wang Chuan and the other 3, so we wanted to bring him back to the enforcement hall for investigation. However, Long Outyin openly resisted arrest and was extremely arrogant. He didn't put the sex rules in his eyes at all. Not only did he injure more than a dozen enforcement hall disciples, he even ordered his servant to kill me. Elder of Law Enforcement, please investigate this matter. Lu Hun glared hatefully at Ling Xiao before explaining to the disciplinary elder. That's right. Long Outyin, what else do you have to say? Xingjun looked at Ling Xiao indifferently. Ling Xiao said calmly, Disciplinary elder, I'm a direct disciple of the battle hall. Even if I have to go to the disciplinary hall for an investigation, you should be the one to bring me back. I'm afraid Protector Lu doesn't have the right to do that. However, he attacked me forcefully. He broke the rules of the sect first. Xingjun's eyes flashed with a cold light as he said slowly, Long Outyin, Lu Hun is here on my orders to bring you back for an investigation. It's no different from me coming here personally. Now that the situation is clear, you're the one who resisted arrest and injured the disciplinary disciple and Protector Lu. Why aren't you kneeling down and apologizing to them? Then, come back with me to the disciplinary hall for an investigation. Ling Zhao's eyes turned cold. He did not expect Xingjun to say that he was the one who sent Lu Hun. It was obvious that he was biased. Everyone's eyes flashed as they felt that the disciplinary elder was right. Long Outyin, Wang Chuan, and the other 2's deaths were suspicious and they should be brought to the disciplinary hall for an investigation. However, they knew what kind of place the disciplinary hall was. It was easy to get in but difficult to get out. Who didn't have any secrets? However, in the disciplinary hall, no secrets could be kept and they would have to spit out everything. Disciplinary elder, you're wrong. You said that Lu Hun is here on your orders. Where is the edict? You have no proof. Even the disciplinary elder can't side with Lu Hun so obviously, right? Ling Xiao sneered coldly. Xingjun's eyes turned cold. He did not give the edict to Lu Hun. In other words, he knew nothing about it. He and Lei Qianjue were alerted by the Thunder Spirit King's presence and they both came to War Mountain to investigate. Ling Zhao's words hit the nail on the head. Suddenly, Lei Qianjue said lightly, Long Outyin, regardless of whether Lu Hun had the edict or not, the disciplinary elder is here. You and the other 3's deaths are suspicious. Why don't you surrender now and be brought to the disciplinary hall for an investigation? Could it be that you still want to stubbornly resist? Vice Leader Lei is right. Long Outyin, come with me. Xingjun suppressed the anger in his heart and said coldly. Lei Qianjue skipped the topic and only mentioned that the disciplinary elder was here and wanted Ling Xiao to be brought to the disciplinary hall for an investigation. This could be said to be extremely vicious. If Ling Xiao was brought to the disciplinary hall, they would be able to do whatever they wanted to him. Everyone looked at Ling Xiao, waiting to see how he would respond. After all, even a true disciple could not refuse an investigation by the disciplinary elder. Ling Zhao's face was still calm. He said lightly, if you want me to go to the disciplinary hall, you have to get permission from the Grand Elder first. According to the rules of the faction, if you want to take away a true disciple from one of the 9 factions, you have to get permission from the temple masters. Tiangang said, that's right. If you want to take junior brother Long away, you have to get permission from the Grand Elder first. Although the battle temple is weak, we will not allow anyone to bully us. Tiangang's blood essence surged as he stared at Xingjun and Lei Qianjue. He did not back down at all. Xian Wang, Zhou Doji, Tai Niu, and the others all stood up and stood beside Ling Xiao. It was as if they would fight to the death if Xingjun dared to take Ling Xiao away. Suddenly, Xingjun furrowed his brows. He was in a difficult position. Although he was furious and wanted nothing more than to suppress Ling Xiao, he had to be fair and just in front of so many people. At the very least, he had to do it on the surface. Otherwise, with so many disciples watching, he wouldn't dare to go too far. At this time, Lei Qinjue spoke again. Junior brother Xing, the ghost demons have been stirring up trouble recently. Some of them have even snuck into the realm of the gods. I suspect that Long Outyen's servant is a spy from the ghost demons. Why don't we capture him and interrogate him? A cold light flashed in Xing Jun's eyes. He said indifferently, Senior brother Lei is right. As the disciplinary elder, I have the responsibility to protect the faction. This Thunder Spirit King is of unknown origin. We have to investigate him thoroughly. Long Outyen, let your servant surrender and let us search his soul. We suspect that he is a spy from the ghost demons. Lei Qinjue's words were exactly what Chen Fan wanted to hear. It gave him an excuse to kill Chen Fan. Ling Zhao's eyes turned cold. Shameless. Chapter 1647. Ling Xiao was enraged by Lei Qinjue's words. He knew that Lei Qinjue was a vicious man. With just a few words, he had managed to get Xing Jun's attention back to him. Lei Qinjue looked like a righteous man, but in reality he was trying to kill Ling Xiao. Thunder Spirit King was not from the War God Shrine. If they didn't accuse Thunder Spirit King of being a spy from the Ghost Demon Clan, Ling Xiao wouldn't be able to escape. Ling Xiao suppressed the anger in his heart and said coldly, Thunder Spirit King is my servant. He is not a spy from the Ghost Demon Clan. Elder of Law Enforcement, don't push me too far. Soul searching was putting one's life in the hands of others. No one would accept it. Long Outyen, I think you are hiding something. I have never heard of you having such a powerful servant. But you have Thunder Spirit King, a 9th Revolution half-saint, with you after you came back from the mythical dimension. How can I not be suspicious? For the safety of the War God Shrine, Junior Brother Xing, I am willing to work with you to capture this Thunder Spirit King. Lei Qinjue said coldly. Senior Brother Lei is right. Thunder Spirit King, why don't you surrender now? Elder of Law Enforcement said righteously. Bullshit. I have seen shameless people, but I have never seen anyone as shameless as you. Master, how can someone like you become an elder and a vice master of the War God Shrine? No wonder the War God Shrine is ranked last among the 12 immortal sacred grounds. There are people like you who can lie. Even if you want to frame me, can you at least use your brain? I have mastered the true meaning of thunder. Have you ever seen anyone from the Ghost Demon Clan who dares to cultivate the true meaning of thunder? Thunder Spirit King said with a cold smile. His eyes were filled with disdain. Everyone's mouth twitched. They all felt that Lei Qinjue's excuse was really lame. But they could only criticize him in their hearts. They didn't dare to say anything. Whether you are a spy from the Ghost Demon Clan or not, we will know after we capture you. Take him down. Elder of Law Enforcement's eyes flashed coldly. He was the first to attack Thunder Spirit King. Boom. Lightning flashed around his body. A black 9-section whip appeared in his hand. It was emitting powerful holy path chi. It was a perfect holy treasure. Elder of Law Enforcement used all of his strength to attack Thunder Spirit King. Lei Qinjue's eyes lit up as well. Lightning bolts shot out from his palms and turned into beams of sword radiance that shot toward the Thunder Spirit King. 2 9th Revolution half-step saints attacked at the same time. Their power was incomparably terrifying. In an instant, the sky above War Mountain was shrouded in a kind of aura fluctuation that made people's heart tremble. Kill! Thunder Spirit King's eyes turned red. Even though he was only a Thunder Spirit body and did not have a physical body, he still had the cultivation and fighting strength of a 9th Revolution half-saint. He immediately soared into the sky and attacked Patriarch of Law Enforcement and Lei Qinjue. He was fighting 1 against 2, but there was no trace of fear in his eyes. The lightning around his body was blazing, as if lightning was blooming all over the sky. It was terrifying to the extreme. Rumble! In an instant, the 3 of them clashed. Endless thunder light exploded, as if a vast world had been destroyed. Within the thunder light, scenes of the birth and death of endless worlds appeared. It was incomparably horrifying. You know the divine firmament annihilation lightning Tao of my war god hall. Damn it, you really are a spy. Patriarch of Law Enforcement shouted in surprise. His eyes were filled with an extremely cold murderous intent. Stealing the peerless sacred art of my war god hall, die. Lei Qinjue's eyes were also filled with murderous intent. The sword light around his body became more and more terrifying. It was extremely sharp, and it gathered into a mysterious sword rain, falling down on Thunder Spirit King. They were instantly shocked by the exchange of blows. Because Thunder Spirit King also cultivated the divine firmament annihilation lightning Tao. They originally wanted to frame Thunder Spirit King, but this discovery made their hearts tremble and their eyes became serious. Ignorant. Your war god hall's divine firmament annihilation lightning Tao is also passed down from the ancient times. My divine firmament annihilation lightning Tao is also the inheritance of the ancient divine firmament saint. Its power is far greater than your war god hall's divine firmament annihilation lightning Tao. Thunder Spirit King sneered, and the thunder light around his body became even more intense. Under his command, streaks of purple lightning gathered and formed into the shapes of the divine dragon, the white tiger, the true phoenix, and the black tortoise. The four divine beasts unleashed their peerless power and charged toward Elder of Law Enforcement and Lei Qinjue. Thief, don't you dare quibble. Today, no one can save you. Patriarch of Law Enforcement roared, and the murderous intent around him was boiling. The flawless thunder whip in his hand shone with tens of thousands of rays of light, and it was wrapped in billions of pounds of divine power, and kept on smashing towards Thunder Spirit King. Lei Qinjue's attack was also extremely terrifying. Under the attack of the two, even Thunder Spirit King felt a great amount of pressure. Purple Firmament Ruler, come. Lei Qinjue suddenly shouted. He immediately stretched out his hand, and tens of thousands of rays of light shone in the void. An ancient purple ruler fell from the 9 heavens, and it emitted an eternal thunder light, and fell into Lei Qinjue's palm. Boom! He held the purple firmament ruler and smashed it towards Thunder Spirit King. High-grade sacred artifact? Thunder Spirit King's body shook, and his eyes were extremely serious. He tried his best to activate the sacred chi around him, and at the same time, he took out the divine firmament palace and faced the purple firmament ruler head-on. The purple firmament ruler's power was extremely terrifying. The thunder whip in Patriarch of Law Enforcement's hand was only a low-grade sacred artifact, but the purple firmament ruler in Lei Qinjue's hand was the most precious treasure of the entire Thunder Palace. It was a high-grade sacred artifact, and its power was extremely terrifying. Bang! The divine firmament palace turned into a purple pearl, and after it collided with the purple firmament ruler, it was suddenly blasted away. Rays of light shone brightly, and Thunder Spirit King also staggered back. The divine firmament palace was the divine firmament saint's sacred artifact. Although it was a high-grade sacred artifact, it had lost a lot of its power over the years. Moreover, the divine firmament palace was a cave-type Dharma treasure, unlike the purple firmament ruler, which was an offensive sacred artifact. Kill! Patriarch of Law Enforcement held the thunder whip in his hand, and Lei Qinjue held the purple firmament ruler in his hand, and they launched an extremely fierce attack towards Thunder Spirit King. Instantly, Thunder Spirit King was at a disadvantage, and seemed to be in danger. Shameless! Ling Zhao's eyes were extremely cold, and he could not wait to rush up and kill Patriarch of Law Enforcement and Lei Qinjue. He was also worried and anxious. If this continued, Thunder Spirit King would definitely be defeated. Sooner or later, he would be suppressed by Patriarch of Law Enforcement and Lei Qinjue. At this moment, Tang Yao and Lu Hun looked at each other and shouted at the same time, Long Outyin, your servant stole our war god temple's peerless divine firmament thunderway. I think you must be a spy from the demon race. Why don't you surrender now? Chapter 1648. Tang Yao and Lu Hun hated Ling Xiao to the core. In the beginning, Tang Yao was angry because Ling Xiao had injured her brother, Tang Fei. But now, she was afraid because of Ling Xiao's strength. Lu Han originally wanted to capture Ling Xiao, but because of the appearance of the Thunder Spirit King, he was severely injured and lost face in front of everyone. This made him feel ashamed and angry, and it all turned into anger towards Ling Xiao. Now, they finally found an excuse to attack Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's servant, the Thunder Spirit King, knew the divine firmament's world-destroying lightning. This was the war god shrine's peerless saint technique, and it was not allowed to be taught to outsiders. Even the true disciples would have to go through a strict test to learn it. Now that Ling Xiao's servant had learned it, Ling Xiao could not escape the blame. A silver long sword appeared in Tang Yao's hand. The sword light was sharp and fast, and it shot towards Ling Xiao's vital parts. Lu Han, on the other hand, was shrouded in blazing flames. He slammed his palm towards Ling Xiao, and an endless sea of fire rose as if it was going to burn Ling Xiao to ashes. The two of them hated Ling Xiao to the extreme. So when they attacked, they used killing moves, not showing any mercy at all. Rumble. Heaven and earth shook. The sword light and flames intertwined in the void and rushed towards Ling Xiao. Cold light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. Suddenly, the 9 Heaven Dao Primal Chaos tablets rose into the sky, shining brightly, and went towards Tang Yao and Lu Han. Bang! The sky full of sword light was destroyed. The Heaven Dao Primal Chaos tablets collided with Tang Yao. Tang Yao's blood boiled, and the ancient sword in her hand almost flew out. On the other hand, Lu Han's aura was terrifying. The huge flaming palm contained terrifying power, and when it collided with the Heaven Dao Primal Chaos tablets, it was sent flying. Then, it charged towards Ling Xiao. Gotcha! Terrifying divine power surged around Ling Xiao as he threw a punch at Lu Han. The chaotic fist imprint was unstoppable as it collided with Lu Han. In an instant, boundless flames erupted and the void trembled. Ling Xiao was sent flying. Is this the power of a 6th revolution half-saint? Ling Xiao's gaze trembled, and the battle intent in his eyes burned even more fiercely. Lu Han was severely injured, but his combat strength was still extremely terrifying. Especially his sacred burning sky technique, which contained the fierce true will of the 3-legged golden crow. It seemed to be able to burn the sky and destroy the earth. With one blow, Ling Xiao was sent flying. Those flames even burned Ling Xiao's skin, causing his incomparably tough body to show signs of shattering. Long Outyen, prepare to die. Lu Han said coldly. The aura around him rose and the murderous intent in his eyes seemed to materialize. Rumble. Heaven and earth trembled, and flames rose from behind him. In an instant, a sharp cry was heard, and the 3-legged golden raven soared into the sky, rushing towards Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's eyes shone brightly as the 9 tablets merged into one. Instantly, it expanded like an immemorial mountain, exuding an ancient and majestic aura. Ling Xiao lifted it up and smashed it towards the 3-legged golden crow. Gotcha! Heaven and earth trembled as the 3-legged golden crow and the tablet collided. In an instant, boundless flames exploded, forming a blazing flame that enveloped Ling Xiao. The scorching aura seemed to be able to burn everything into nothingness, causing Ling Xiao's body to turn red. His skin even began to split open, and his flesh was mangled. Die! Ling Xiao did not seem to feel the pain on his body at all. He used a secret technique to teleport out of the sea of flames, and threw a punch towards Lu Han. You're courting death! Lu Han sneered. He did not expect Ling Xiao not to dodge, but to take the initiative to attack. In an instant, his fist was covered in blazing flames, and he threw it towards Ling Xiao. Boom! The two fists collided, and the void trembled violently. At the same time, the flames on Lu Han's fist spread towards Ling Xiao's arm, and Ling Xiao's arm began to burn. However, Ling Xiao's eyes were incomparably calm, and there was even a trace of calmness that could see through one's heart. This made Lu Han feel that something was wrong. Oh no! It's the tribulation aura. Lu Han's body trembled, and he suddenly felt a mysterious and ancient force penetrating Ling Xiao's fist like a blade, entering his body, and shrouding his entire body. It was the tribulation aura. Rumble. In an instant, The aura around Lu Hun's body became incomparably violent, and there seemed to be a destructive force that was about to erupt from his body. His aura became incomparably chaotic, and a wave of intertwining life and death spread out from his body. Nirvana tribulation. Lu Hun's nirvana tribulation was triggered. Lu Hun's cultivation had already reached the peak of the 6th revolution half-saint, but he did not have the confidence to cross the 7th nirvana tribulation, so he had been suppressing his cultivation. However, after being severely injured by the Thunder Spirit King, he was somewhat unable to suppress his cultivation. Ling Xiao was aware of Lu Hun's current state, so he did not hesitate to activate the Tribulation's indestructible saint technique and injected the Tribulation aura into Lu Hun's body. In an instant, Lu Hun's cultivation fluctuated violently, and he was unable to suppress his cultivation. The Nirvana Tribulation had arrived at this moment. Although Ling Xiao's Tribulation aura was only a catalyst, it came at just the right time. Save me. I don't want to cross the Nirvana Tribulation. I don't want to die. Lu Hun's body trembled, and his eyes were filled with incomparable horror. He began to desperately shout. When he was not severely injured, he did not dare to cross the 7th Nirvana Tribulation, not to mention now that he had not recovered from his injuries. If he rashly triggered the 7th Nirvana Tribulation, he would definitely die. However, only he could cross the Nirvana Tribulation, and others were powerless to help him. Rumble. Lu Hun's body exuded a terrifying aura, like the intertwining of life and death aura, and unexpectedly, his body began to collapse. His entire body was filled with a strange light rain, and gradually, his aura became faintly discernible, as if he was gradually dying, and light rain drifted out from his body. What? Why is Lu Hun crossing the Nirvana Tribulation at this time? Everyone was shocked, and their eyes were filled with disbelief. Previously, Lu Hun was still fighting with Ling Xiao, and he wanted to suppress Ling Xiao. However, in the blink of an eye, Lu Hun could not even take care of himself. The Nirvana Tribulation had erupted, and he was on the verge of death. Long Outyin must have used some unknown method to trigger Lu Hun's Nirvana Tribulation. Otherwise, Lu Hun would not be unable to suppress his own cultivation. A sharp-eyed prodisciple said slowly, and his eyes were filled with seriousness. Long Outyin's method? Everyone trembled, and they looked at Ling Xiao as if they had seen a ghost. Chapter 1649. Kacha. Lu Hun's body seemed to be covered in spiderwebs. Streaks of fire gushed out from his body, containing waves of destruction. This was the true meaning of the burning sky that Lu Hun cultivated. When he was undergoing the Nirvana Tribulation, it became his own tribulation. Lu Hun screamed. His entire body seemed to be engulfed in flames. His body was disintegrating, and his primordial spirit was rapidly weakening. Even the Saint Qi in his body began to disperse. He seemed to have entered a state of nothingness. Oh no, Lu Hun's mind has already lost control. If this continues, his soul will disperse and he will turn into ashes sooner or later. Someone's body trembled, and his eyes were filled with incomparable seriousness. The gap between the divine path and the sword of the saint path was as wide as the abyss. After reaching the peak of the divine king realm, one had to undergo 9 nirvana tribulations to transform his body, primordial spirit, and the laws he comprehended to a perfect state. Only then could he truly embark on the path of the saint path. 9 nirvana tribulations were also known as 9 revolution half-saints. Every time they crossed a nirvana tribulation, the difference in strength between them would be like the difference between heaven and earth. However, every nirvana tribulation was also incomparably difficult. It was as if they had died once. Only by breaking and rebuilding could they obtain new life. Therefore, when undergoing the nirvana tribulation, the cultivation of one's state of mind was very important. Only by staying true to oneself and having a tempered heart could one find one's true self and survive the nirvana tribulation. In the divine world, all experts were extremely cautious about the nirvana tribulation. They had to be fully prepared before they dared to undergo the nirvana tribulation. Now, Lu Hun's body was severely injured, and his heart was filled with fear. He could no longer guard his mind. Only death awaited him. Some of the true disciples looked at Ling Xiao with incomparable seriousness. They had already guessed that junior brother Long Outyin had probably condensed an imperishable calamity seed. In the War God Temple, the reason why the eternally indestructible Saint technique was the strongest of the 9 ultimate techniques was not only because it was the most powerful and the hardest to cultivate, but also because it could control the tribulation chi. Therefore, if a half-step saint cultivator dared to make an enemy out of someone who had cultivated the tribulation indestructible saint technique, the consequences would be devastating, just like Lu Han. Some of the older elders even thought back to 1,000,000 years ago, when the battle hall was at its most glorious. The disciples of the battle hall who cultivated the tribulation's indestructible saint technique were invincible in the same realm. They could even challenge those of higher realms. Their strength was terrifying to the extreme. It was also because of the myriad tribulation's indestructible holy technique that the battle hall suffered a calamity 1,000,000 years ago. It looks like Long Outyin really has an indestructible calamity seed. How long has it been? No, I must tell senior brother Jean that Long Outyin is the biggest threat to his control of the flipping sky seal. Tang Yao's eyes were filled with shock and disbelief. Lu Hun's miserable state made her forget to continue attacking Ling Xiao. Lu Hun's nirvana tribulation had been triggered. She suddenly remembered what Lu Hun had said before. It confirmed that Long Outyin had indeed condensed an indestructible calamity seed. Now, in the entire War God Hall, there were a total of 9 people who were qualified to try to control the flipping sky seal, including Ling Xiao. However, only Zhan Tianxing and Ling Xiao had condensed an indestructible calamity seed. Although the others had also cultivated the tribulation indestructible holy technique, most of them had not reached the stage of condensing a calamity seed. Rumble. Flames rose and nirvana power exploded. Lu Hun looked extremely miserable. His aura became increasingly weak, as if his soul would scatter and die at any time. Ling Xiao could feel that Lu Hun's body was filled with calamity chi. Every strand of calamity chi had turned into the most terrifying nirvana power, wanting to completely destroy his vitality. Lu Hun, let me help you through the calamity. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. In an instant, a sky-shielding ancient talisman appeared in his palm. It emitted a hazy light and shrouded him like a chaotic fog. He immediately leaped up and flew toward Lu Hun in the void. Rumble. Rays of purple light lingered around Ling Xiao, exuding an eternal and mysterious light. His palms spat out divine light as he activated the tribulation indestructible holy technique. A purple sun seemed to rise above his chest. It was Ling Xiao's indestructible calamity seed. As the indestructible calamity seed's light grew brighter, Lu Hun's calamity chi began to fly toward Ling Xiao and was devoured by the purple sun. What is he trying to do? Everyone was stunned. They did not understand what Ling Xiao was doing. Lu Hun wanted to kill Ling Xiao. Everyone had seen it with their own eyes. Logically speaking, Ling Xiao should have just watched as Lu Hun was reduced to dust by the nirvana tribulation. Why was he helping? He has a sky-shielding ancient talisman that can conceal his aura. He wants to activate the indestructible calamity seed to help Lu Hun through the calamity. An elder in white robes said slowly, his eyes flashing. He recognized the sky-shielding ancient talisman in Ling Xiao's hand. He could also see that Ling Xiao was using the tribulation indestructible calamity technique to devour calamity chi to help Lu Hun through the nirvana tribulation. Long Outyin is repaying evil with good. This is too unbelievable, isn't it? That's right. Lu Hun wanted to kill him. Even if he didn't do anything, no one would say anything. Why is he doing this? Junior brother Long, you have a big heart and a big spirit. Everyone exclaimed in surprise, revealing a trace of admiration. Ling Xiao's actions were beyond everyone's expectations. They did not expect Ling Xiao to help Lu Hun and even use a treasure like the sky-shielding ancient talisman. Eldest senior brother, why is junior brother Long helping Lu Hun? That bastard wants to kill junior brother Long. He should be killed. Wang Lin's face was filled with indignation as she spoke. Zhou Daoji and the others didn't say anything, but they were all confused by Chen Fan's words. Black Donkey suddenly came up to them and laughed. Don't worry. When had Long Outyin ever suffered a loss? When had he ever done a losing deal? He must be up to no good. Even if he helps Lu Hun through the calamity, Lu Hun will suffer a great loss. Let's wait and see. Suddenly, Tiangong's eyes flashed and he said softly, You mean, to destroy Lu Hun's Holy Path Foundation? When Tiangang said that, everyone was shocked. They seemed to have thought of something. Back when Ling Xiao was collecting Tribulation Qi, he had helped them pass the God King Tribulation. They naturally understood the meaning behind Astral Vault's words. The Tribulation Qi contained both destruction and vitality. If Ling Xiao extracted a portion of the Tribulation Qi, he would be able to help them pass the God King Tribulation. However, if Ling Xiao really extracted all the Tribulation Qi, not only would they not be able to break through to the God King realm, their Dao Foundation would also be destroyed. Ling Xiao probably wanted to extract all the Calamity Qi from Lu Hun's Nirvana Tribulation. Chapter 1650. The Nirvana Tribulation was a test of the Great Path. The Nirvana Tribulation was not only dangerous, but also a great opportunity. The true meaning of the Great Path that one had comprehended during the Nirvana Tribulation would be transformed and one would be closer to the origin of the Great Path. However, this kind of danger and fortune came from the Nirvana Tribulation. If Ling Xiao devoured all of the Tribulation Qi, the so-called Nirvana Tribulation would naturally cease to exist. Although Lu Hun would not die, his path to the divine path would be cut off and his foundation would be destroyed. If he wanted to break through again, unless he could find a heaven-defying fortune, it would be very difficult for him to take another step forward. If he could no longer improve his cultivation, it would be worse than killing him. Rumble. Ling Xiao used the indestructible divine technique to devour Lu Hun's Tribulation Qi. His body was surrounded by purple light. Because of the sky-shielding talisman, the Nirvana Tribulation could not sense his presence and had no effect on him. As Lu Hun's Tribulation Qi was devoured, Ling Xiao's indestructible seed of calamity became more mysterious. It was like a purple divine sun, exuding an ancient, majestic, and mysterious fluctuation. The Nirvana power in Lu Hun's body began to weaken, slowing down the rate at which his body was collapsing. Initially, Lu Hun was in complete despair. The Nirvana Tribulation this time was incomparably violent and terrifying. Under the condition of being severely injured, coupled with the fear in his heart, there was no way for him to guard his mind. Therefore, he was about to turn into ashes in the Nirvana Tribulation. However, he felt that the Nirvana Tribulation's power was rapidly weakening. He began to mobilize the power in his body to resist and digest the Nirvana Tribulation's power. His aura began to stabilize. It's him. Lu Hun felt Ling Xiao's presence and was shocked. He could not believe that Ling Xiao had saved him. Logically speaking, Ling Xiao should have just watched him be killed by the Nirvana Tribulation. However, he did not have the time to think too much. He began to focus on the Nirvana Tribulation. His aura became stable and he began to comprehend the power of the Nirvana Tribulation, refining the Tribulation Qi into his body. No matter why Ling Xiao had saved him, no one would want to die if they could. Lu Hun naturally felt very lucky. However, Lu Hun soon felt that something was wrong. He realized that after Ling Xiao devoured a portion of the Tribulation Qi, he didn't show any signs of stopping. He was still devouring the Tribulation Qi from his Nirvana Tribulation. This immediately terrified him. He finally understood what Ling Xiao was planning. It was true that Ling Xiao had saved him, but he wanted to destroy the foundation of his saint path. No! Lu Hun roared in his heart. His heart was filled with hatred and unwillingness. However, he was in the middle of the Nirvana Tribulation and could not make a sound. He could only watch Ling Xiao devour all the Tribulation Qi in the Nirvana Tribulation. A bolt of lightning flashed in the void. After the Tribulation Qi was devoured by Ling Xiao, a dazzling light shone. The Nirvana Tribulation slowly dispersed and Lu Hun's body began to regenerate. He was saved from the brink of death. However, his aura was still at the 6th Revolution half-saint realm. He hadn't broken through to the 7th Revolution half-saint realm. Long Outyin, you and I cannot live under the same sky. I will definitely kill you and grind your bones to dust to vent my anger. Lu Hun opened his eyes abruptly. His eyes were filled with blood-red radiance and frenzied killing intent. He glared at Ling Xiao and roared. His voice was filled with hatred. Ling Xiao did save him, but his nirvana tribulation was triggered by Ling Xiao, so he didn't feel the slightest bit of gratitude to Ling Xiao. Not to mention, Ling Xiao didn't have any good intentions when he saved him. Ling Xiao swallowed all the tribulation chi in his nirvana tribulation and completely destroyed his Tao foundation, making it almost impossible for him to trigger the nirvana tribulation in the future. Lu Hun almost fainted at the thought of this. His heart was filled with endless hatred. Lu Hun, if I didn't save you, you would have been dead by now. I didn't expect the War God Temple to have such an ungrateful and shameless person like you. Ling Xiao said flatly. His expression was very calm. However, when the crowd saw Lu Hun's expression, they understood what Ling Xiao had done. Ling Xiao had devoured all the tribulation chi in Lu Hun's nirvana tribulation. It was too vicious. Long Outyin is really a vicious person. Many of the true disciples looked at Ling Xiao with a hint of fear in their eyes. Ling Xiao's methods made them feel reverence in their hearts. If they were to be played by Ling Xiao in the process of fighting with him, they would be completely destroyed. Instantly, many of them thought to themselves that no matter what, they couldn't defend Long Outyin. Even if they did, they couldn't fight with him. I'll kill you! Lu Hun roared. His body was covered in blood and he looked like he had gone mad. He charged towards Ling Xiao in the sky. However, Lu Hun's injuries from the nirvana tribulation had not healed. He was still in a severely injured state. He was even weaker than before the nirvana tribulation. Ling Xiao's gaze turned cold. He was about to use the Heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet to suppress Lu Hun. Slap. At this moment, a crisp sound rang out. Everyone saw Lu Hun being sent flying by a palm strike. He smashed into the distant War Mountain and fainted. A bright light shone in the void. An old man with white hair and beard appeared on the War Mountain. He was wearing a tattered robe. The aura around him was vast and terrifying. His eyes were filled with anger and coldness. Who gave you the courage to behave so atrociously in my battle hall? A cold voice rang through the sky, causing the entire War Mountain to tremble. The Great Elder of Battle Hall, Lu Wenjing, had returned. The Great Elder is back. These bad guys, let's see if they still dare to be arrogant. The eyes of Tai Niu and the others lit up. They were pleasantly surprised. Lu Wenjing's aura was terrifying. Standing in the sky, the Saint Tao aura on his body was vast and unparalleled. It was as if he had formed a mysterious resonance with the entire War Mountain, causing an unparalleled force to burst out from his body. Even the law enforcement elder Xing Jun and Lei Qinjue, who were fighting with the Thunder Spirit King, stopped as their eyes flashed with divine light. Good. Very good. Xing Jun, Lei Qinjue, I'm not in Battle Hall. Is this how you humiliate the disciples of Battle Hall? If you have any problems, you can come at me. Why do you have to make things difficult for the disciples of Battle Hall? Don't you have any shame? Lu Wenjing's eyes were filled with anger as he glared at Xing Jun and Lei Qinjue. Chapter 1651. Martial Uncle, why are you back so soon? Both Xing Jun and Lei Qinjue felt awkward as their faces darkened. They had received news that Lu Wenjing had left the War God Temple and went to a dangerous place. However, they did not expect Lu Wenjing to return so soon. Moreover, he had witnessed the scene in front of them. Most importantly, even though Lu Wenjing was the Grand Elder of the War God Temple, his seniority was higher than theirs. He used to be a sage Grand Elder. However, due to an irreversible injury, his cultivation had fallen to the half-saint realm. In front of Lu Wenjing, they had no choice but to lower their heads. Why am I back so soon? If I didn't come back, would you have destroyed my War God Temple? Lu Wenjing snorted coldly. Martial Uncle Lu, you don't know the reason behind this. Long Outyin is suspected of murdering 4 inner sect disciples. His servant even stole the sect's peerless saint technique, the divine firmament's world-devastating thunder art. As the disciplinary elder, I have to take them away and interrogate them. The sect's rules are not to be violated and the sect's secret techniques are not to be leaked to outsiders. This is my duty. Martial Uncle Lu, please don't stop me. Xing Jun said slowly to Lu Wenjing. Even though he addressed Lu Wenjing as martial uncle, he did not show any respect. Lu Wenjing's expression changed slightly. Whether it was the murder of an inner disciple or the theft of the sect's peerless holy technique, these were all serious crimes that were punishable by death. If what Xing Jun said was true, then what he did was not wrong. However, Lu Wenjing still said coldly, "Do you have any proof that you are suspected of murdering the inner sect disciples and stealing the sect's peerless saint technique? Do you have any proof? Why didn't you tell me what you were going to do with my disciples? Is it because you don't care about me anymore? Without my permission, even the god of war himself will not be able to take away the disciples of War God Temple." Lu Wenjing's voice was firm and resolute. There was no hesitation in his voice. Ling Xiao could not help but feel warm in his heart. Lu Wenjing did not know what had happened, but he still did not hesitate to stand by his side, which made him feel very grateful. Ling Xiao cupped his fists at Lu Wenjing and said, "Grand Elder, this disciple did not kill the 4 inner disciples. This is all just Tang Yao and the law enforcement hall's speculation. They don't have any evidence and just want to take this disciple away based on their suspicions. Although this disciple is insignificant, the battle hall cannot be humiliated. This disciple will naturally not go with them. As for my servant stealing the sect's peerless holy technique, that's even more ridiculous. My servant's name is Thunder Spirit King." The divine firmament destructive lightning Tao he obtained came from the ancient divine firmament saint. It is very different from the divine firmament destructive lightning Tao of the sect. However, Elder of Law Enforcement and Vice Palace Master Lei did not listen to my arguments and insisted on taking away my servant and disciple. Ling Xiao told Lu Wenjing everything that had happened. An ancient divine firmament saint? Our sect's peerless sage technique, the divine firmament apocalyptic lightning Tao, was indeed passed down from the ancient times. I have also heard of the divine firmament saint. He indeed has the divine firmament apocalyptic lightning Tao. Lu Wenjing's eyes lit up as he nodded. He did not expect that his junior brother Long Outyin would be so lucky to be able to tame the Thunder Spirit King, a 9-revolution half-saint, in the mythical space. He was very happy about it. Although Lu Wenjing was very curious about Ling Xiao's experience in the mythical space, he knew that now was not the time to ask about it. He just kept his questions to himself for now. What a joke! Everyone knows that the divine firmament apocalyptic lightning Tao is the peerless holy technique of the War God Shrine. When I was fighting with him just now, I could already tell that he is practicing the divine firmament apocalyptic lightning Tao of the War God Shrine. As for the fact that it came from the divine firmament saint, I'm afraid that is just an excuse. Lei Qianjue said coldly. Thunder Spirit King was originally very frustrated when he was attacked by Xing Jun and Lei Qianjue. After hearing Lei Qianjue's words, he suddenly sneered and said, "The divine firmament saint was a peerless figure during the 9 Thearchs era. You guys are ignorant if you don't know about it. I think all the sages of the War God Shrine should know about it. The divine firmament apocalyptic lightning Tao that I practice comes from the divine firmament saint. It is not something that your incomplete technique can compare with." "How dare you?" Xing Jun's eyes also turned cold. He was from the Thunder Hall and also practiced the divine firmament apocalyptic lightning Tao. Naturally, he respected the divine firmament apocalyptic lightning Tao very much. He would not allow anyone to belittle it. Xing Jun, Lei Qianjue. Whether or not Long Outyen's servant, Thunder Spirit King, stole the sect's peerless holy technique is not something that I can decide. I will ask the God of War to make a judgment. Before this matter is cleared up, no one is allowed to behave atrociously in the War God Shrine. Now, please leave, the War God Shrine does not welcome you. Lu Wenjing stared at Xing Jun and Lei Qianjue and said coldly. "No way. What if he escapes? This is related to the Thunder Hall's peerless holy technique. Thunder Spirit King and Ling Xiao must be guarded by both the Thunder Hall and the Disciplinary Hall. We will not let them go until we find out the truth, Lei Qianjue said coldly. He did not want to back down at all. That's right. We must investigate this matter thoroughly. Xing Jun did not back down as he spoke. Although Lu Wenjing was their uncle master, in their eyes he was already a withered branch that had suffered irreversible injuries. It was impossible for him to break through to the Saint Plane in this lifetime. On the other hand, they had an infinitely bright future, so they naturally did not take Lu Wenjing seriously. What? Do you want to attack this old man? I told you, no one can take Long Outyen and Thunder Spirit King away, not even the gods. A sharp light flashed in Lu Wenjing's eyes, and his body exuded an invisible majesty and domineering aura. Martial Uncle Lu, although you're a senior, you're still a senior. However, this matter is related to my War God Temple's peerless holy technique. This matter must be investigated thoroughly. I hope Martial Uncle Lu won't stop me. Otherwise, we can only have a taste of Martial Uncle Lu's skills. Xing Jun and Lei Qianjue looked at each other and said slowly, "Rumble." Their holy aura spread out, and the Thunder Calamity Whip and the Purple Firmament Ruler shone brightly. The two of them stood in front of Lu Wenjing, and their terrifying aura locked onto Lu Wenjing, Long Outyen, and everyone from the battle hall. Everyone's body trembled, and their eyes were filled with disbelief. Xing Jun, Lei Qianjue, and Lu Wenjing represented the Disciplinary Hall, Thunder Hall, and Battle Hall respectively. Although there were conflicts between the factions, the higher-ups still maintained a peaceful facade. Could it be that a great battle was about to break out today? The fact that Xing Jun and Lei Qianjue were going against Lu Wenjing made everyone feel that something big was about to happen. Although Lu Wenjing used to be a saint, he had fallen to the half-saint realm. Xing Jun and Lei Qianjue were both 9th Revolution half-saint realm elites, and they had powerful saint treasures in their hands. They did not think that Lu Wenjing was a match for Xing Jun and Lei Qianjue. Chapter 1652. Xing Jun and Lei Qianjue were extremely stubborn. Even if Lu Wenjing was here, they were determined to take Ling Xiao and Thunder Spirit King away. Of course, they were suspicious of Thunder Spirit King's destructive lightning doctrine. More importantly, Lu Hun had told Xing Jun and Lei Qianjue through telepathy. Long Outyen has 9 Heavenly Dao chaotic tablets. Xing Jun and Lei Qianjue were extremely greedy when they heard that. They were determined to take Ling Xiao and Thunder Spirit King back to the Tribunal Council. Even Lu Wenjing was not allowed to do so. As long as Ling Xiao entered the Tribunal Council, Xing Jun and Lei Qianjue would know all his secrets and treasures. Although Lu Wenjing did not know what Xing Jun and Lei Qianjue were planning, he was furious when he saw how aggressive they were. He laughed and said, "Very well. I haven't fought for so many years. So, you don't even care about an old man like me anymore. If that's the case, let's fight." Rumble. Lu Wenjing's voice exploded in the void like a clap of thunder. It contained a vast and majestic Saint Wei true will. The entire battle mountain started to shake. Strange waves of energy started to spread out. It was ancient and mysterious. It formed a mysterious resonance with Lu Wenjing's body, causing his aura to become even more terrifying. Lu Wenjing was originally a 9th Revolution half-saint. However, as the mysterious waves of energy spread out from the battle mountain, Lu Wenjing's aura started to increase. It became unpredictable. This is Saint Path Resonance. How did you trigger the Saint Path Resonance? Lei Qianjue exclaimed. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Xing Jun's expression also became extremely solemn. Before, they were still full of confidence. With the two of them working together, coupled with the power of the Thunder Calamity Whip and Purple Firmament Ruler, they thought that even Lu Wenjing was no match for them. But when they saw the Saint Path Resonance in front of them, their expressions changed. What is the Saint Path Resonance? Someone asked curiously. Although they did not know what it meant, they could feel that Lu Wenjing's aura was extremely terrifying. It was as if he could suppress everything with a wave of his hand. Saint Path resonance is very impressive. All of you know that the 9 bloodlines of my war god Hall reside on the 9 floating mountains, but they've existed for a myriad of years. Every single bloodline has given birth to countless Saint Dao experts, and their auras and Saint Dao imprints have been left on the floating mountains, causing them to become extremely precious and mysterious. Even though they aren't saint artifacts, they're even more terrifying than ordinary saint artifacts. Generally speaking, only the masters of the 9 lineages, who wielded the supreme treasures of the 9 lineages, could resonate with the Saint Path. Once the Saint Path resonated with the Saint Path, they would be blessed by the Saint Mark and possess terrifying combat strength. I never thought that Martial Uncle Lu would be recognized by all the saints of the battle hall. This is unbelievable. An old elder explained, his eyes filled with shock. Among the 9 branches of the War God Hall, Saint Dao resonance rarely occurred. This was because Saint Dao resonance would also cause the vitality of each branch to be damaged. Normally, unless it was a matter of life and death, Saint Dao resonance would rarely occur. A sharp light flashed across Ling Zhao's eyes. At this moment, Lu Wenjing's aura was extremely terrifying. Even if a real saint appeared, Lu Wenjing would be able to put up a fight. This was the terrifying combat strength that came with the Saint Mark after the Saint Path resonated with the Saint Path. Martial Uncle Lu, are you crazy? How could you resonate with the Saint Path for a mere disciple? You're wasting the resources of the War God Hall. Xing Jun said with an ugly expression. He and Lei Qinjue were in a dilemma. Lu Wenjing's Saint Path resonated with the Saint Path, and his strength had become extremely terrifying. Even if they had the Thunder Calamity Whip and the Purple Firmament Ruler, they might not be able to defeat Lu Wenjing. However, if they were to retreat now, they would feel ashamed and unwilling to do so. Those were 9 Heavenly Dao Chaotic Tablets, which were equivalent to 9 powerful saint artifacts. Those who offend the War God Hall shall die. Lu Wenjing replied coldly. His voice was filled with an iron-blooded murderous aura. Clang clang. If that's the case, then let's see how powerful the Saint Path resonates with the Saint Path. Lei Qinjue's eyes were cold. The Purple Firmament Ruler in his hand flowed with a mysterious purple light. Streaks of thunder origin energy circled around it, making the Purple Firmament Ruler's aura even more terrifying. The void around them trembled violently. Although Lei Qinjue was wary of the Saint Path resonating with the Thunder Temple, he had the Purple Firmament Ruler in his possession. He did not think that he would lose to Lu Wenjing. The Thunder Calamity Whip in Xing Jun's hand also shone with a bright light. Boom! The aura of the 3 of them rose rapidly, covering the sky above the War Mountain with a layer of terrifying Saint Path aura. The Saint Path aura intertwined with the mysterious power of the realm. It was as if it could kill all living things. Just when everyone held their breaths, thinking that a world-shaking battle was unavoidable, Yi Zichen suddenly appeared. Buzz! The void trembled slightly, and in an instant, brilliant light illuminated the sky. It was as if flowers of the Great Path were sprinkling down from the sky. Golden lotuses appeared in the void, looking holy and mysterious. A white-robed figure shrouded in light appeared in the void. Although they couldn't see his face clearly, the peerless beauty and extraordinary aura made everyone tremble involuntarily. Flowers from the sky and golden lotuses from the earth. This is the aura of a saint. Who's this? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He had a vague idea in his mind. When Xing Jun, Lei Qinjue, and Lu Wenjing saw the white-robed figure, they could not help but tremble. They retracted their aura and bowed deeply. Greetings, Lord God of War. Greetings, Lord God of War. Everyone's eyes were filled with fanaticism. They spoke in unison, shaking the clouds as they bowed to the white-robed figure. It turned out that he was the god of war of the War God Temple. He was the true ruler of the War God Temple. Rise! A clear voice rang out. It was as if a jade bead had fallen on a jade plate. It was very pleasant to the ears. Everyone felt a surge of divine energy. Whether it was the Divine King Realm disciples, Xing Jun, Lei Qinjue, or Lu Wenjing, they all stood up involuntarily. I am aware of what happened today. The divine lightning art that Long Out Yen's servant, Thunder Spirit King, used was not from the War God Temple. There is no need for the Law Enforcement Hall and Thunder Hall to investigate further. As for the cause of death of the disciples, order Long Outyin to stay in the War God Temple to reflect on his mistakes. The Law Enforcement Hall will continue the investigation. If the culprit is found, arrest him immediately. There is no room for error. The God of War said slowly, "Thank you, Lord God of War." Lu Wenjing's eyes shone with joy as he cupped his hands and bowed. Chapter 1653. Yes. Although Xing Jun and Lei Qinjue were unwilling to accept this, they had no choice but to obey the battle god's order. The divine firmament destructive lightning Dao that the Thunder Spirit King used was not from the War God Hall. However, the War God did not want them to target Ling Xiao. Instead, he wanted Ling Xiao to stay in the War God Hall and reflect on his mistakes. They believed that if the War God wanted to investigate whether those people were killed by Ling Xiao, it would be an easy task. However, he had decided to deal with them in such a manner. Their hearts couldn't help but sink. "All right, you can all leave now," the battle god said calmly. Xing Jun, Lei Qinjue and the others left the war mountain with their faces covered in dust. The disciples also bowed to the battle god and left. Since the battle god came out personally, it meant that the matter had been settled. The battle god, who was always impartial, showed his intention to side with the war god shrine today. Everyone could not help but think about the meaning behind it. "Martial Uncle Lu, this Long Outyin is a good seedling. Please teach him well," the battle god said calmly. "Rest assured, battle god. I will teach him well," Lu Wenjing said with a smile. Buzz. The light in the air slowly dissipated as the silhouette of the battle god vanished. However, Ling Xiao could sense that before the battle god left, he actually glanced at him. That glance seemed to contain a sigh, sorrow, and gratification. But when he thought about it carefully, it was as if there was nothing there. That kind of complex emotion was something he found hard to understand. What happened? There was a trace of doubt in Ling Xiao's eyes. He didn't know why the war god had looked at him before he left. As everyone left, the matter on the war mountain came to an end. The Thunder Spirit King flew back into Ling Xiao's body. Tian Gang, Tai Niu, and the others' eyes were filled with joy and relief. From today onwards, all the true disciples of the War God Hall would remember Long Outyen's name. He was a divine king, yet he was able to defeat a group of law enforcers and even destroy Lu Hun's foundation. He was truly a ruthless person. "Long Outyen, come with me." Lu Wenjing smiled at Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao followed Lu Wenjing into the War God Shrine. Lu Wenjing handed Ling Xiao a black gourd. "This is Tribulation Aura?" Ling Xiao opened the gourd in confusion. He immediately realized that there were countless streaks of Tribulation Qi in the gourd. In total, there were more than 10,000 streaks. "This time, I heard from the War God about a certain ominous calamity land, so I went there to collect Tribulation Qi. With these 10,000 strands of Tribulation Qi, you should be able to condense a Tribulation seed very quickly," Lu Wenjing said slowly. "Thank you, senior brother. However, I've already formed the indestructible calamity seed." Ling Xiao felt a sense of warmth in his heart, but he still smiled bitterly. Boom! The light around him burned brightly. The purple imperishable seed rose up, emitting a purple mist. It was like a purple sun, emitting an eternal wave of energy. "What? You really gave me a pleasant surprise." Lu Wenjing's body trembled, and his eyes revealed a trace of disbelief and surprise. He hadn't seen Ling Xiao and Lu Hun fight before, so he didn't realize that Ling Xiao had already formed the indestructible calamity seed. Now that he realized that Ling Xiao had formed the indestructible calamity seed, he was pleasantly surprised. This speed was too fast. After all, it hadn't even been a year since Ling Xiao received the inheritance of the indestructible sacred technique, but he had already collected enough Tribulation Qi to refine his body and form the indestructible calamity seed. This cultivation speed was considered shocking, even in the history of Battle Hall. "Senior brother, are you injured?" Ling Xiao suddenly frowned. He could feel that Lu Wenjing's aura was a little weak. Pa, it's okay. It's just that I came across a few broken formations in the ominous Calamity Land. Now that you've formed the indestructible Calamity Seed, you'll be more confident in controlling the flipping sky seal. Lu Wenjing said with a smile. He was very happy. Senior brother, don't worry. In a month, I'll be able to completely control the flipping sky seal. Lu Wenjing's sincere concern had warmed his heart. He could imagine that Lu Wenjing must have encountered a lot of danger in order to collect these 10,000 strands of tribulation energy. Even his cultivation of 9th Revolution half-sage had been injured. Lu Wenjing had been in a lot of danger. I believe you. But I see that your indestructible Calamity Seed is at least formed from a few 100,000 strands of tribulation chi. Did you find some ominous Calamity Land in the Divine Devil Space? And who is the Thunder Spirit King? Lu Wenjing asked curiously. Senior brother is right. This time in the Divine Devil Space, I did get a lot of opportunities. That's why I was able to gather enough tribulation chi to refine my body and form the indestructible Calamity Seed. Ling Xiao smiled and told him about his experience in the Divine Devil Space, including how he killed Shui Hua, Wang Chuan, Lu Xian, Wei Jin, and Wei Xing. He even told him about how he killed Huang Wuji and how he framed Zhan Tianxing. Lu Wenjing was shocked to hear about Ling Xiao's experiences in the mythical space. Whether it was the chaotic Demon Ridge, Divine Cloud Valley, or Red Lotus Valley, the dangers in those places could easily lead to one's death if one was not careful. But Ling Xiao was able to come back safe and sound. Moreover, he had obtained a great opportunity. Shui Hua and Wang Chuan dared to go against you? That was because they deserved to die. Don't worry, I'll take care of them for you. But Huang Wuji was killed by you. That's troublesome. Lu Wenjing frowned slightly. What's Huang Wuji's status in the Imperial 9 Imperial Gates? He has a Saint Dao boundary on him. There should be at least a saint behind him, right? Ling Xiao asked. Lu Wenjing said, I'm sure you know about the Imperial 9 Imperial Gates. They have inherited the legacy of the ancient heavenly court. The two most honorable surnames are Huang and Di. The Imperial Masters of the Imperial 9 Imperial Gates are basically alternated between the Imperial family and the Emperor clan. The current Imperial Master is from the Emperor clan. However, the Imperial family's background is extremely deep. Huang Wuji is from the Imperial family and is the grandson of a Saint Realm's Supreme Elder. Imperial family and Emperor clan? What a big tone. Huang Wuji's background is so big. It seems like it's really troublesome. Furthermore, I exposed the Thunder Spirit King today. I'm sure Zhan Tianxing isn't a fool. If the people from the 9 Imperial Gates find Zhan Tianxing, he will definitely be able to deduce that the person who killed Huang Wuji is me. Ling Xiao said slowly. Chapter 1654. You're right. If it were any other immortal sanctuary, it would be fine. However, the 9 Imperial Gates is our ally. If we find out that you killed Huang Wuji, the sect will not offend the 9 Imperial Gates for you. Of course, a pro-disciple is not qualified. If it were the Battle Hall Master, the sect would not hand you over. Lu Wenjing said seriously. Ling Xiao took a deep breath and said, The Battle Hall Master? It seems like I have no other choice. I must control the flipping sky seal in a month. Ling Xiao understood what Lu Wenjing meant. A true disciple was not worth the War God Temple risking offending their allies to protect because he was not important enough. However, the War God Temple Master was important enough. In particular, the flipping sky seal was the most valuable treasure of the Temple of Ares. If Ling Xiao could wield the flipping sky seal, he would undoubtedly become the Temple Master of the Temple of Ares. His status would be higher than Lei Qinjue and Xing Jun's. That's right. This is the best way to break the current situation. Junior brother, since you have condensed the indestructible Calamity Seed, I will give you the imprint of the flipping sky seal. Lu Wenjing said solemnly. Buzz. Dazzling light appeared in his palm and turned into an ancient rune. Suddenly, some kind of formation in the battle hall was activated. The battle hall began to tremble slightly. In the middle of the battle hall, A passageway that led underground appeared. "Follow me." Lu Wenjing led Ling Xiao into the passageway and began to walk downwards. Rumble. Ling Xiao could feel an ancient and violent aura vibrating violently in the passageway. It contained an incomparably terrifying fluctuation of power. It seemed that even a 9th Revolution half-saint would be easily torn into pieces in front of that power. The passageway led to the heart of the mountain. "Senior brother, are we going to the Flipping Sky Seal?" Ling Xiao asked. "That's right. Although the power of the Flipping Sky Seal is still violent, it has calmed down. I can bring you to observe the Flipping Sky Seal from a distance. Then, you can obtain the imprint of the Flipping Sky Seal. The earlier you can comprehend the power of the Flipping Sky Seal, the better it will be for you when you control the Flipping Sky Seal in a month." Lu Wenjing said with a smile. This was a backdoor for Ling Xiao. Naturally, no one else would have this opportunity. "All right, I really want to see the #1 treasure of the War God Temple." Ling Xiao asked curiously. The fundamental treasure of the War God Hall was naturally the ultimate emperor weapon, the War God Seal. Once it was awakened, its power would be unparalleled, and it would be comparable to a peerless great emperor. It was also the treasure that suppressed the fate of the War God Hall. To put it bluntly, it was precisely because of the heaven-battling seal that the War God Hall was able to remain one of the 12 immortal Holy Lands. As for the Cyclic Sky Seal, it was said to be a replica of the heaven-battling seal. It had a trace of the extreme path power and was a supreme-grade holy treasure. It was far superior to the treasures of the other sections. Ling Xiao was also curious about the Flipping Sky Seal. Very quickly, Lu Wenjing brought Ling Xiao through a long underground tunnel and arrived at a huge cave. Rumble. The light here was resplendent, and a vast ocean actually appeared in front of Ling Xiao. Endless divine light rose, and huge waves surged into the sky. The aura was majestic and terrifying. Ling Xiao could vaguely feel that the ocean in front of him was not a real ocean, but a manifestation of the Great Path Order. It contained an incomparably violent destructive power that seemed to be able to turn everything into dust. Above the sea, there was a 10,000-foot-tall divine mountain floating. It looked dark and swarthy, and was not eye-catching at all. Could this be a small world? Ling Xiao asked doubtfully. He could feel the chaotic power of space around him. It was hard to imagine whether they were in the belly of the mountain or somewhere else. This is still the belly of the mountain, but it is in the domain world of the Cyclic Sky Seal. The Cyclic Sky Seal is a supreme-grade holy treasure, and it has its own domain world. The endless ocean in front of you is the holy path aura leaking out from the Cyclic Sky Seal. Lu Wenjing sighed softly and said slowly. Ling Xiao was shocked. Just the holy path aura leaking out was so terrifying. Ling Xiao could feel that even if Lu Wenjing were to jump into the ocean in front of him, his soul would probably dissipate instantly. Could that sacred mountain be the Cyclic Sky Seal? Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with shock as he stared at the towering sacred mountain in the ocean. Although that towering divine mountain looked unremarkable, it had a kind of indestructible and indestructible aura. It was like a sea-stabilizing divine needle that floated there, stabilizing this side of the world and propping up the heavens of the 4 poles. That's right. That's the Cyclic Sky Seal. The Flipping Sky Seal weighs hundreds of millions of caddies. It's a supreme-grade holy treasure that the first god of war of the War God Temple collected hundreds of millions of stars and used a broken world as the foundation. After 1,000,000 years of refining, he finally succeeded in refining it. It has unpredictable power. Legend has it that if you can control the Cyclic Sky Seal, you will have a chance to communicate with the War God Seal. Lu Wenjing nodded and said with a hint of fanaticism in his eyes. The Cyclic Sky Seal in front of him had been dormant for millions of years. It had once witnessed the glory and strength of the War God Temple and represented the pride of the War God Temple. Now, it was sleeping in the ocean, quietly waiting for its master to come. I will be its master. Ling Xiao's heart was suddenly filled with lofty sentiments. He had the confidence that he would definitely succeed. Rumble. Lu Wenjing formed a seal with his palms and mysterious runes flew up. They were dazzling and flew toward the ocean in the distance. They contained an ancient and mysterious fluctuation. In an instant, the ocean began to rise violently. Endless divine light surged and divine power spread in all directions, causing Ling Xiao to tremble. Whoosh! A ball of black light flew out of the ocean and landed in Lu Wenjing's palm. Ling Xiao could see a small black seal wrapped in the ball of black light. It looked a little illusory, as if it was made up of countless black lines, exuding an ancient and immortal fluctuation. This is the inheritance imprint of the cyclic sky seal. Quickly refine it with your primordial spirit, Lu Wenjing said solemnly. Then, the ball of black light flew toward Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's glabella shone and directly absorbed the ball of black light into his primordial spirit. Then, the small black seal merged with Ling Xiao's primordial spirit and exploded. Rumble! It was like the creation of the world. Endless divine light exploded, dazzling everyone's eyes. Chaotic fog filled the air, and an ancient black seal appeared in front of Ling Xiao. The seal floated in the chaos, and scenes of endless worlds appeared around it. This was the cyclic sky seal. Dominance, suppression, destruction, confinement, great way, origin. All kinds of mysterious true meanings were integrated into Ling Xiao's primordial spirit. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.